What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
6 rupees. Chapter 107 The Most Perfect Plan. Hey, Vegeta, what are you doing? Seeing Vegeta actually threatened the other party with force to ask for the Dragon Ball, Chichi hurriedly stepped forward and tried to stop Vegeta. Let go. Vegeta held the elder and turned to look at Chichi. Isn't your communication ineffective? If you ask me, my method is simple and crude, but it is the most effective. If they don't give it, kill them until they give it. Chichi said angrily. But, you bully the weak like this, what kind of martial artist are you? Vegeta narrowed his eyes coldly. I never said I was a martial artist. Also, if you are strong, but you can't do whatever you want, then what's the point of training? Chichi was stunned for a moment, then looked back at Bulma. Bulma, what he said seems to make sense. Quote. Bulma, Son Goku walked towards Vegeta and said, Vegeta, let him go. This is Namek, even if we use force to get the 7 Dragon Balls. It's useless without their help to make wishes. After all, we don't know Namek language. Several young Namekians immediately ran up and said, quickly release the elder, or we will be rude. 13. Vegeta heard Son Goku's words and let go. Humph, it's really troublesome. If you want to collect Dragon Balls in your own way, then use your way. Anyway, this matter has nothing to do with me. As he said, Vegeta crossed his arms and walked to the crowd arrogantly. Seeing Chichi and Goku communicating with him with goodwill. The Namek elder thanked the two. But he still didn't give them the Dragon Ball. After a while, everyone left the village. Krillin also looked helpless. Really, they didn't even give us the Dragon Ball. When Frieza comes, we'll see if they'll still be so stubborn. Yamcha suggested. I think Vegeta's idea is good. After all, we know Frieza is coming. Giving us the Dragon Ball is also for their own good. Tien Shinhan, you all overlooked a problem. To make a wish for the Dragon Ball on Namek, you need to use the Namek language. If we make enemies with them, I'm afraid they won't help us make a wish. Bulma said. Let me explain to you, actually. I had already learned the Namek language before coming to Namek. What? Everyone was surprised when they heard what Bulma said. You can learn a foreign language in a few days. Bulma, you are really amazing. Hearing this, his eyes widened. So Bulma is so amazing. They are a bunch of old antiques, and it is too difficult to communicate. In my opinion, in order to save time, why don't we just take the Dragon Ball by force? Son Goku said. I feel that they are not so easy to give in. If we use force, I am afraid they will not give us the Dragon Ball if we don't kill a few people. After the communication just now, I learned that their Dragon Balls are scattered in various villages and kept by the village elders. If we use force to solve it, how many people will be killed? Besides, I don't want to kill these Namekians. Although the elder is a bit pedantic, they are not bad people. Bulma nodded. Yes, moreover, they are all Namekians, and there are ways to communicate with each other. If all the Namekians know, our group threatened them to snatch the Dragon Ball from the entire Namek. I am afraid that we will encounter more resistance when we look for other Dragon Balls in the future. So, some things cannot be done rashly. Moreover, if we kill someone to save a Namekian, I think it is meaningless to do so. Everyone nodded. Krillin nodded and said, yes, what you said makes sense. If I have to kill people to snatch their Dragon Balls, I would rather our Earth does not have Dragon Balls. Chichi scratched his head. It's really troublesome. It doesn't work softly or hard. It's really hard to communicate with these old antiques. If we delay a little longer, Frieza and his men will come. It's so annoying. Wait for me. Just as several people were discussing, Bulma took out the detector. He pressed it, and after a moment, Bulma said, the latest information is that Frieza and his men will probably come in 3 days. I have a good idea. Everyone looked at Bulma. Bulma glanced at everyone and said. It's too inefficient for so many people to collect Dragon Balls together. Besides, Frieza is coming. There's no need to argue with each village about power and wisdom. Frieza may arrive before they finish competing in wisdom and power. Let Frieza be the bad guy and we be the savior. Everyone was stunned. What do you mean? Advertisement. When Son Goku heard what Bulma said, a strange idea came to his mind. She won't let the story of this planet repeat itself, right? Bulma continued to explain. That is to say, we should rest first, don't waste energy to fight for any Dragon Ball. Just sit back and wait, and stay near the village with Dragon Ball. When Frieza's army invades the village and starts killing people, we will come forward to help solve the enemy. In this way, because we saved their village, they will definitely agree to give us Dragon Ball out of gratitude. There are 7 of us in total, but I'm not a warrior, so I can't participate in the battle. But you can. Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi, Chichi, Vegeta, a total of 6 people. Just enough to go to 6 villages. Finally, each of you will get a Dragon Ball from the village. And rush to the location of the 7th Dragon Ball, which is the village of the Great Elder, and we will gather. In this way, the Great Elder knows that we have saved 6 villages. And in order to thank us, he will definitely give us the last Dragon Ball. So 1 Dragon Ball will fall. Hearing Bulma's arrangement, everyone couldn't help but secretly marvel. You don't have to be a bad guy, and you can get the Dragon Ball. By the way, it also ignites the fuse of the battle with Frieza. This plan is perfect. Even Son Goku was surprised by Bulma's wisdom after listening to her analysis. The reason why they don't make enemies with the Namekians is, on the one hand, because they are not bad people. And they will not do bad things for their own efforts. And on the other hand, it is because of the Great Elder. If they all contribute to saving Namek, the Great Elder will definitely help stimulate their potential. And Bulma's plan will invisibly make their results the most perfect. Others praised them one after another. You are worthy of being the first genius on Earth, Bulma. Yes, you are really our smartest military advisor. I will tell you the location of the 7 Dragon Balls later. By the way, Vegeta. Bulma looked at Vegeta and continued, I must remind you. Follow my method, you can't kill the Namekians. Otherwise, you will regret it. Huh, long-winded. Chapter 108 The Power of the Beautiful Young Woman Chichi. Everyone on Earth has mastered breath control. Vegeta also showed his genius. After coming to Earth, he learned it in a short time just by watching them all control their fighting power. So, suppressing breath and hiding their bodies are simply too easy for them. Soon, with the help of Bulma's Dragon Ball radar, the 7 people were divided into 6 groups. And scattered around the 6 villages where Dragon Balls were stored. Bulma didn't know martial arts, so she naturally had to be in a group with Son Goku. They placed capsule houses not far from a village on Namek. They lived in it peacefully. Others also found a place to live not far from the target through their own methods. They either brought their own capsule houses, sleeping bags, or caves. In short, no one made any moves. The village elders had received the news that they wanted Dragon Balls. And almost robbed their Dragon Balls, so they had some precautions in their hearts. But they didn't expect that 3 days had passed and nothing happened. However, on the 3rd day, an accident occurred. A group of people who call themselves Frieza's army descended on this planet. Their goal is very clear, which is to attack each village and ask for the Dragon Ball. When the Z warriors scattered in the 6 villages felt Frieza's breath. Some people became nervous, and some people were eager to try. Krillin sensed the strength of Frieza's aura, and exclaimed, what an evil aura, is this Frieza's aura? I hope Frieza doesn't come here, but only a team of soldiers. Otherwise, I can't get the Dragon Ball, and it will be difficult to ruin Bulma's plan. Yamcha felt a group of not very strong auras coming towards his village, and finally smiled. He moved his shoulders and twisted his joints to warm up. After practicing for so long, today, I can finally have a good fight. No, wait a little longer, wait until they can't resist before going on the field, so that I can show the greatness of my savior, ha 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 ha. Jiaozi felt someone approaching, and hid in a corner secretly, waiting for the opportunity to attack. Tien Shinhan also found a hidden place to lie down casually, waiting for the opportunity to attack. Vegeta leaned against a tree, sensing the breath and analyzing Frieza's movements. Frieza's army relied on detectors, and they could not control their breath. Therefore, Frieza's existence, in the eyes of those who could sense the breath, was just a bright light bulb. Sensing a strong breath, Vegeta immediately confirmed that it was Frieza. He looked into the distance, and a slight arc appeared at the corner of his mouth. Stopped in that direction. Hee, this breath sensing is really convenient for the Frieza army. After a while, Vegeta felt a few more slightly stronger breaths leaving there. Vegeta immediately understood that they were the 3 leaders Dodoria, Chuyi, and Sabo. They must have dispersed to find Dragon Ball for Frieza. Vegeta's face showed an expectant look again. He raised his fist and clenched it, saying, now my strength has improved a lot. I hope someone can come to me and be killed by me. It would be best if it was that B********** D Dodoria. Soon, with Frieza at the center, the generals, captains, squad leaders, and soldiers of Frieza's army all dispersed to various villages. Soon, a group of soldiers came to a small village on Namek. This village was the place where the people who had asked for Dragon Ball, the village that the village elders refused to give up. As soon as the captain of the Frieza army landed, he yelled at the people in the village. Come out, all of you come out. A moment later, groups of Namekians with skin recorded ran out of the house in a panic. There were old people, young men, and children. The children hid behind the adults. An old Namekian walked to the position of the captain of the Frieza army. I am the head of this village. May I ask who you are? The village chief glanced at the soldiers around him, with a murderous look, and continued to ask, and what are you going to do? The captain of the Frieza army looked around and then looked at the village chief. He said with a smile, let me introduce myself. I am an excellent captain of Frieza's army. This mission is to help the king collect Dragon Balls. If you don't want your village to die, hand over the Dragon Balls quickly. Dragon Ball, how do you know about Dragon Balls? The village elder asked in astonishment. The captain raised his mouth and said, this is not a question you should ask. I have only one goal, I have no interest in this planet. So, what you have to do is to give me the Dragon Ball honestly. Otherwise, I will not show mercy. You know, our Frieza army has always been barren when we go out. If I can leave you a way to survive, you should be grateful for the greatness of King Frieza. Da. The captain laughed, and the soldiers under him followed suit. A drop of cold sweat appeared on the forehead of the village elder. Sorry, if you want to get the Dragon Ball, you must pass the wisdom test and courage test of the wisest elders in each village. The Dragon Ball will not be given to you for nothing. The captain was very happy and his face was full of smiles. However, the words of the elder from Namek made his face full of frost. You pedantic guy, you are looking for death. The captain raised one hand and pointed at the village elder. An energy slowly lit up from his palm. He could sense that the energy bomb was so powerful that he would die if it touched him. But although the elder was very scared, he was still hard. You are all bad people. The Dragon Ball is not allowed to be given to evil people like you. Even if you kill me, you will not get the Dragon Ball. As he said that, the elder closed his eyes. As soon as the village elder finished speaking, bang! The energy bomb suddenly passed by the side of the village elder. After a loud bang, beads of sweat oozed out of the village elder's head. However, he was about to repeat that threats were useless and he was not afraid of death. The villagers behind him cried out. Aluka, dead, he's dead, elder, they killed Aluka. It was like a flash of lightning that pierced the village elder's mind. He turned his head in horror and saw the child who was charred by the energy bomb at a glance. Chichi, who was squatting at the edge of the village, gradually touched the crowd. She had just found a shelter when she heard the crying and roaring in the crowd. Chichi's eyes flickered and she looked over immediately. A little Namek who looked like Piccolo was lying on the ground, and his breath had disappeared. Chichi couldn't help but regret. Oh, what a pity, someone died. Chichi was about to go up, but then suppressed his thoughts. No, I can't be impulsive. Bulma said that this time Frieza's army came to this planet, and they would definitely kill many people. Anyway, they will all be resurrected, I must hold my temper. I must wait until I see the Dragon Ball before I can make a move. The Dragon Ball of our Earth must be restored. Chichi muttered to himself while observing the people present. Several young men checked on the child. Aluka. The village elder immediately ran to the child. He placed his hands on the child and slowly activated the healing ray. However, the child was already dead. There was no sign of healing of the wound, nor any sign of awakening. Chichi was shocked again when he saw this scene. Hey, Bulma knows so much, is this a healing Namekian? If I can bring a few healing Namekians back to Earth. Wouldn't that be human-shaped senzu beans? Tisk tisk, I'm so smart. Quote. Chichi was thinking and observing the situation. On the first day, they asked for the Dragon Ball, but the other party refused to give it to them. She knew that it was too difficult to get the Dragon Ball in the normal way. These days, you still have to listen to Bulma. Since ancient times, deep affection cannot be retained, and people's hearts are always won by tricks. Chichi was still mumbling in her heart at this moment. She also wanted him to take out the Dragon Ball quickly. In this way, she could act quickly. The elder looked at the captain of the Frieza army again. Damn, you bad guys. You actually attacked the child, so despicable. The captain laughed. He, you look too old. You should have died a long time ago, and you may not care about your life or death. So, there is no way, I will pick a bone that is not hard enough. Okay, can you give me the Dragon Ball now? The captain asked again with a threat on his face. Don't even think about it. Advertisement. With a bang. The captain fired another energy bomb. In an instant, another child died under the captain's energy bomb. In an instant, another flash of lightning flashed through the minds of the elders and villagers. Dead. Another dead. Chichi was also surprised to see this scene. She didn't expect that a small captain of the other side would be so arrogant and domineering. He didn't even finish a few words, and killed another person so quickly. Is this the face of the invader? They acted decisively and ruthlessly, without any delay. In their hands, human life is really worthless. Seeing another villager dead. The villagers and the village chief all looked at the captain with fear. Then, I'll ask again for the third time. If you can't give me the Dragon Ball this time, then I have to kill you all and then search for the Dragon Ball myself. Although, this may be a little troublesome. The captain looked at the village elder again and asked. Excuse me, can you combine my Dragon Ball? The village elder was already covered in cold sweat, and his hands were shaking. Here's the Dragon Ball for you, leave now. The captain laughed and said, it would have been better if you had done this earlier, go get it. After that, the village elder immediately walked to the back. A moment later, he came over holding a big Dragon Ball. Seeing this big Dragon Ball, which was so many times bigger than the Dragon Ball on Earth. Chichi's eyes lit up. Wow, this Dragon Ball is so big. Just then, they heard Chichi's surprise. Someone asked alertly, who is it? Then, all the Frieza troops looked in Chichi's direction. Chichi covered her mouth in surprise. I found that they were still looking at their bunkers, so I had to come out. Quote. Oh, I'm exposed. The captain picked up the Dragon Ball and looked at Chichi. His eyes immediately brightened. Hey, this is a girl from outer space, so cute. It's much more pleasing to the eye than the green-skinned monsters on this planet. The village elder's pupils suddenly shook when he saw Chichi. Is it you? Chichi raised one hand and said hello to the village elder. Then he looked at the captain of Frieza's army who was holding the Dragon Ball. Hey, ugly B************, D, even though you praised me. I still want to kill you. You kill people casually, you are all bad people. The captain was stunned for a moment. Kill is to accompany you. Chichi nodded. That's right. As he said, he immediately started to pose. However, seeing this scene, everyone in Frieza's army laughed. Ahahaha, it's really funny. Captain, don't be careless, let's see her fighting power first. The captain nodded, and he was also a little cautious. Then he pressed the detector, and after seeing the number, he immediately relaxed. He laughed. Haha, I thought you were so powerful. It turns out that you don't have any fighting power at all, you are a useless waste. However, the pose is still standard. Why don't you give us another punch to cheer us up? As soon as the voice fell, the dozen soldiers around laughed. The elder of Namek looked worried. The Dragon Ball has been given to you. According to the agreement, you should leave quickly. The captain looked at the village chief. Old man, I wanted to let the people in your village live a little longer, it's really a nuisance. As he said, a bullet hit the village chief. The village chief was shocked. He shouldn't have communicated with such a murderous guy. Seeing that he was about to be crushed to pieces, he closed his eyes in fear. The villagers also retreated in fear. However, at this moment, Chichi's figure suddenly disappeared, and when she appeared again, she was already blocking the trajectory of the energy bomb. She raised her white and tender hand, but easily knocked the energy bomb away. At this moment, the captain's detector suddenly flashed. The captain was shocked. Okay, what? His combat power has increased so much all of a sudden. At this moment, there was a bang. The captain's detector exploded. Before he could react, he had already kicked him in the face. As the captain screamed, everyone looked at him. Chichi was like a god of war. The seemingly light punch and kick attack made the captain scream again and again, and the sound of broken teeth and broken bones continued to resound through the sky. After 2 breaths, the captain fell heavily to the ground. A dozen Frieza soldiers were shocked when they saw this scene. Let's go together. However, as soon as they rushed up, Chichi turned into an invisible black shadow and shot over. After a few crisp collisions, a dozen Frieza soldiers were defeated. And his body was placed one by one in the center of the village. Chichi gently patted the dust on his hands, and then immediately picked up the Dragon Ball. The village chief and the villagers were surprised and looked at Chichi. Chichi immediately took 2 steps back. Said, I stole this Dragon Ball from them, and now it belongs to me. The village chief was silent. As expected, she waited for them to take the Dragon Ball before she took action. He regretted not giving them the Dragon Ball. Otherwise, 2 people would not have died. Seeing Chi-Chi's great power and killing those bad guys, several villagers immediately thanked Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi just waved his hand. No, don't thank me, I'm doing this for Dragon Ball. Also, you're too ugly, don't get too close to me, I'm scared. After saying that, Chi-Chi flew away. All the Namekians in the village were silent. They could only watch the beautiful girl who saved their village. Oh no, the beautiful young woman Chichi left. After a while, the village elder contacted the Great Elder. Great Elder, did you see that? In addition to Frieza's army, there is another force from Earth looking for Dragon Ball. I have a suggestion. Then, Chapter 109 Another Dragon Ball. The village where Krillin is. A group of Frieza's troops also entered here. However, this group of people has a leader, Chuyi, leading them. The team leader kept gathering the people in the village. Hurry up, come out if you don't want to die. A moment later, 5 Namekians were pushed and shoved to Chuyi. There were only 3 adults and 2 children. Move forward and be honest. The team leader immediately reported. Report to Master Chuyi, there are only these few people in this village. Chuyi frowned and asked. Why, how could there be only 5 people in this village? When I came, the detector found that there were obviously 10 people, where are the others? Several Namekians saw the formation of Frieza's army, and they all broke out in cold sweat. The village elder stepped forward and said, the young people have gone to work, leaving only us old people and children. Chuyi smiled and said, very good, so that we can suffer less if we cooperate a little. Forget it, it's useless to me to gather as many people as possible. Now, bring out the Dragon Ball. 1. The elder was startled and immediately retorted, we don't have a Dragon Ball. Chuyi smiled and said, I have a piece of news. There is another rule on your planet Namek. That is, only recognized warriors are eligible to get the Dragon Ball. This news was told to us after several people died in the previous village. Now, let me think about it, should we wait here for those young people to come back and kill them all? Or should you give us the Dragon Ball, and then we will be safe and sound? And let us take the Dragon Ball and go. Hearing Chuyi's words, sweat broke out on the Chinese people's forehead. But still said nothing. Chuyi continued. The Dragon Ball is carefully collected by the 7 oldest elders on this planet. They compete with each other in wisdom and strength, and also state what wishes they make. Only after passing them can they be qualified to get the Dragon Ball. Quote. Hearing Chuyi's words, the village elder broke out in a cold sweat. What he said was all correct. That is to say, the last village had been almost massacred. Chuyi continued. My patience is limited. If you don't want people to die, just hand over the Dragon Ball obediently. The leading elder felt deeply sorry when he heard what happened to the last village. He said angrily, the Dragon Ball can't be handed over to bad guys like you. Even if I die, I can't give it to you. Chuyi was stunned. Ha ha ha, if you don't give me the Dragon Ball, would you rather die? The elder nodded, indicating that he would rather die than give it to them. Chuyi sneered. 043. Hee, it seems that everyone on this planet is stubborn. Since you would rather die than surrender, then I won't make things difficult for you. Chuyi looked at the 2 trembling children beside the 3 adults. Chuyi smiled and said, if the children are killed, will you continue to resist? The elder was shocked. What, you didn't even let the children go? Quote. Chuyi smiled casually and said, this is also because your people are too stubborn. Otherwise, we would not be willing to spend so much effort. How about it, have you decided to give us the Dragon Ball? The elder was silent for a long time. Looking at the two children trembling behind him, he finally sighed. Seeing this scene, a wicked smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. It seems that the Dragon Ball is going to be taken out. Krillin, who was not far away, also endured and did not make a move. He was looking forward to the appearance of the Dragon Ball. There is no way, the Namekians are too conservative. Before, Goku and him almost broke their lips, but they refused to give the Dragon Ball. It is required to participate in the wisdom and courage test of the 7 villages. Only after passing can the Dragon Ball be obtained. They had to resort to this last resort because they did not have the time. At this moment, Aunt Chu's detector suddenly beeped. Chuyi was startled. Wow, what a strong fighting power. As they spoke, 3 people flew to the village. Elder, are you all right? The elder saw the 3 young men coming back, still fighting, and a smile immediately appeared on his face. You are finally back. 3 young Namek warriors stood in front of the old man and the child, facing Chuyi and guarding against him. A young man said, "It's absurd, my uneasy premonition turned out to be true, and there are really bad guys in the village." Dodoria looked at the fighting power of the 3 people and said lightly, "I'm surprised that everyone has more than 1,000 fighting power. I'm about to get the Dragon Ball, and you actually come to interrupt me." A young Namek clenched his fists. "I won't forgive you, you have destroyed the peace of Namek." As he said, the 3 young people came to Aunt Chu. Elders are around. Be careful when you fight, they are not easy to deal with. The little Namekian also shouted to the 3 young warriors, "Come on." Chuyi looked at the 3 people and didn't care about them at all. He laughed. Hee, you are really brave, you actually want to fight me. However, with a combat power of only 1,000, you are not worthy of fighting with me. You 3, go. As he said, Chuyi waved his hand, and the 3 warriors stepped forward. And walked towards the 3 young Namekians aggressively. Krillin frowned in the distance. No, the 3 people just hid their breath. They actually just judged their strength based on the surface combat power. Krillin suddenly thought of the detector that Bulma had modified. It seems that it is not a good thing to rely too much on that kind of thing. As the 2 sides touched, the battle immediately opened the curtain tomb. However, as soon as the 3 Namekian warriors fought, their strength began to surge. The 3 soldiers of Frieza's army were no match at all. In a blink of an eye, the 3 Tien soldiers were knocked down. Chuyi looked at the 3 warriors in surprise. Then he said, "In the battle, the combat power was raised to 3,000. It seems that I really underestimated you. The Namekians can actually control the strength of combat power. Such people are really rare." After speaking, Chuyi moved his joints. "If I hadn't come here, I'm afraid I really couldn't take you down." Seeing Chuyi ready to take action, the 3 warriors were obviously a little nervous. They could feel that the opponent was strong. Advertisement. But they still didn't retreat half a step and were ready to fight him hard. At this moment, Krillin, who was hiding not far away, couldn't stand it anymore. Krillin deeply understood that Chuyi's aura was very strong. Far from what these Namekians could contend with. From the performance of the elder who was about to give the Dragon Ball before the 3 young Namekians came just now. It seemed that the status of the elders of this village was higher than that of the first elder they met. And they were obviously more concerned about the overall situation, not so rigid, and not so stubborn. Maybe, they will give Dragon Ball to them out of gratitude for helping to fight against foreign enemies. Just when Chuyi punched a young Namekian, Krillin was hit. With a muffled sound of bang, Chuyi seemed to be hit by a spaceship and flew backwards. Chuyi's body was knocked into a small house, which suddenly exploded and blew out billowing smoke and dust. Everyone was shocked. Who is it? Krillin smiled at the Namekians. He greeted everyone. Hello, I'm from Earth. The Namekians were stunned. They all looked at Krillin. As Namekians, they could sense some kindness and malice. There was no trace of murderous aura on Krillin. A little kid showed joy on his face and couldn't help shouting. Great, you're not in the same group with them. Krillin nodded. Yes, I'm here with my friends to defeat them. You all stay away, I'll take care of these people. The 3 young Namekians immediately said, "We'll help you." Krillin shook his head. "No, it's just a warm-up for me." The 3 young Namekians were obviously stunned. This kid seems to be very powerful. That kind of confidence is very confusing. The other soldiers saw that Krillin was not tall, BDFG, and thought he succeeded only by sneak attack. They immediately rushed towards Krillin. However, the next moment, Krillin's figure turned into a stream of light, which bounced countless times at the moment when everyone attacked. After a short breath, Krillin's figure returned to its original position again. I saw that all the 10 or so Frieza soldiers fell down. The 8 Namekians behind Krillin, young and old, were all surprised. Good, so powerful, too strong. Krillin smiled awkwardly. Ha ha ha, you flatter me. I am a little embarrassed. After that, Krillin looked at the village elders. There is one thing I need to tell you. Although I am not in the same group with them, I came to this planet for Dragon Ball. A bad guy invaded our Earth and killed a friend of mine. We flew a long way to get here. I want to use your planet's Dragon Ball to revive him. The elder looked at Krillin in surprise. Young man, you are really strong and brave. Thank you so much for saving our village. And you actually went through hardships and dangers to save your friend. You traveled trillions of kilometers across the star field to find a way to revive your friend. You are really a model of a brave man. So, I decided to give you the Dragon Ball, and as an elder, I can also guarantee you and help you get the Dragon Ball from other villages. Krillin blinked in surprise. Really? The elder nodded. At this moment, the smoke and dust behind Krillin dissipated, and Chuyi stood up again. Who dares to sneak attack me? The villagers were shocked again. Kan Lin turned his head and looked at Chuyi. You are fine after taking my move. Chuyi laughed and said, you are kidding, you are a nobody, you want to kill me by sneak attack, it's too crazy. Krillin immediately started to move. Yes, I was too fanciful. But I don't need to sneak attack you. Chuyi laughed. It seems that you don't know how powerful I am. The next moment, at the moment when Chuyi's huge energy wave hit him, Krillin pushed his hands out. As he said that, Den walked towards Krillin. Forks and suddenly hit Krillin. Yeah, Krillin was overjoyed. Really? Thank you so much. Chichi grinned and said, the ones I met were all small minions, not powerful at all. Ha ha ha, big idiot, if you hide, they will die. Krillin was stunned, turned his head and looked in the direction they pointed. Krillin was surprised. Chichi, how come you were so fast? It's still over. As he said, Chuyi suddenly raised his hands and swung them towards Krillin. Then I will let you die more clearly and let you see the real power. A larger and thicker ki blast pushed back at him. However, Krillin's face was not panicked at all. A look of disdain appeared at the corner of his mouth. So, shall we go? The elder smiled and said, of course it's true. This is what you deserve. Let Den go with you to other villages to get the Dragon Ball. In an instant, Krillin's Kamehameha submerged Chuyi's energy wave, and Chuyi was horrified. However, Ki Blast did not stop at all and directly submerged him. It was thick and scattered, and he had no chance to escape. In an instant, Aunt Chu was smashed to pieces by Ki Blast. The Namekians in the back showed their joy of surviving the disaster, and the two children jumped up happily. We won. Great. Krillin fell to the ground with a calm face. On Earth, he had received too many compliments like this, and he had long been accustomed to it. So, he directly asked for the Dragon Ball. The elder was also very helpful, and when Krillin asked, he took out the Dragon Ball. Warrior, this Dragon Ball is yours. In addition, I have contacted the Great Elder. Damn it. He quickly put his hands in the Kamehameha posture. Look, I got the Dragon Ball, it's so big. The elder saw the stars on the Dragon Ball in Chichi's hand, and immediately said, so you are Mr. Krillin's friend. Since you got the 3 stars, we don't have to go to that village. Den, you follow them to the next village. Krillin nodded. Thank you, elder. Soon, Chichi and Krillin took little Den to the next village. During the flight, Krillin told Chichi about his rescue process. Chichi was speechless. The elder you met is really easy to talk to. If the first elder we all met was so difficult to talk to, who knows how many people would die on Namek. Krillin shrugged. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we have the Dragon Ball in our hands, we don't have to worry about them getting together. Chichi, slow down, suppress your breath, they can't find us at all. Chichi nodded. Well, I know. Hey, Krillin, I can sense Goku's aura. What a despicable move. A very strong ki blast suddenly lit up. He'll get the Dragon Ball. I didn't expect the Dragon Ball on Namek to be so big. It's a rift. It seems to be a Dragon Ball. I saw Chichi flying towards them with a Dragon Ball. Let's hurry over. I think when we get there. Krillin nodded. Okay, then let's go faster, he can also sense our aura. The Namek people behind Krillin were shocked. Krillin also responded politely. Hello, my name is Krillin, please give me your advice. Hello, my name is Den, please give me your advice. A huge energy wave split into several. Look, what is that? Just then, several Namekians suddenly looked up at the sky. Chapter 110 The Destruction of Planet Vegeta. First Chichi wiped out a team, then Krillin killed Chuyi. Not far away, Dodoria and Sabo both noticed something unusual. What's going on? Sabo also pressed the detector and said. The energy reaction of the previous team suddenly disappeared, why did Chuyi's energy reaction also disappear? Dodoria scratched his head and said, could it be that our detectors are broken? Sabo's eyes flickered. No, someone else should be interfering with our collection of Dragon Balls. Dodoria was shocked. Others, how is it possible? Who dares to go against our King Frieza? Sabo touched his chin and said, who knows? At this moment, the detectors of the two people beeped again. The two looked in the same direction at the same time. Dodoria said, this energy reaction is so familiar. But why did the energy reaction of our people disappear? Sabo's pupils suddenly shrank. Could it be? I know, this energy reaction is Vegeta. Dodoria suddenly clenched his fists. Vegeta, it turned out to be him. Yes, it was his reaction. Dodoria suddenly became furious. Damn Saiyan monkey, betrayed King Frieza. I didn't kill him, but I didn't expect him to come and die. The two looked at each other, and then shot towards Vegeta's energy reaction. The village where Vegeta was. A group of Frieza soldiers threatened and lured, and finally the village elders produced the Dragon Ball. At this moment, Vegeta's figure appeared. He easily killed all the Frieza soldiers. Vegeta's methods were cruel. He had an indelible hatred for Frieza and the Frieza army. Like Chichi and Krillin, at most they were defeated and prevented from doing evil, and that was basically the end. But Vegeta's attack was completely different. Everyone in this Frieza army team died miserably, and no bones were left. Just when Vegeta was about to take the Dragon Ball and leave safely, a flash of lightning suddenly flashed through his mind. This aura is a bit strong. Could it be Dodoria and Sabo? The next moment, the sun shone wildly. The corners of Vegeta's mouth raised high. Finally, two big fish have come. Vegeta is not as kind as others. The appearance reflects the heart. Outsiders think he is very fierce at first glance. Some people can even feel the murderous aura on him. Even though Vegeta saved the village, the villagers looked at him cautiously. When Vegeta killed Frieza's army, the elders of Namek immediately understood his purpose. He walked towards Vegeta with the Dragon Ball in his arms. Although his hands holding the Dragon Ball were shaking a little, he still presented the Dragon Ball. Well, this warrior, thank you for saving us, this Dragon Ball is for you. Vegeta turned his head and looked at the Dragon Ball, and the villagers who were trembling with fear. He snorted coldly. Who saved you? Don't be self-indulgent, I did it for the Dragon Ball. And I just don't like Frieza's army, not to save you. The elder was stunned for a moment, and then nodded immediately. Ah, yes, you just don't like them. As he said, the elder put on the Dragon Ball again. Vegeta felt the speed of the breath coming here, and said, put away the Dragon Ball first. I will deal with these two big fish later, and then trample the Dragon Ball. The elder was stunned for a moment. The next moment, he also felt two evil breaths flying rapidly towards their village. He nodded immediately. Then he turned around and called out to the villagers, another person is coming, everyone hide quickly. Everyone responded and then found shelter. Vegeta flew into the sky, crossed his arms, waiting confidently for Dodoria and Sabo to come. A moment later, Dodoria and Sabo arrived above the village at the same time. The two saw Vegeta at a glance. Dodoria was a little surprised to see him floating in the air alone, obviously waiting for them. Hee, Vegeta, you actually betrayed King Frieza. We wanted to kill you a long time ago. We thought you would hide, but you are waiting for us here. Now, you can't run away. Sabo looked at Vegeta and found that he didn't have a detector on his face. He asked curiously. No, Vegeta. You don't have a detector, how did you know we would come? Vegeta smiled. I don't need that kind of thing a long time ago. I learned a new move that can sense your position. And your fighting power. Sabo was a little surprised, but not much. He suddenly laughed and clapped his hands. Haha, very good, Vegeta. However, King Frieza, whom you have already betrayed, dares to wait for us here. Do you want to deal with the two of us alone? Dodoria laughed. Sabo, don't joke. I guess he must want us to plead for him. He wants to return to King Frieza's command. You know, the king has always been very tolerant of geniuses, isn't it, Vegeta? As he said, Dodoria looked at Vegeta. Vegeta sneered. Return to Frieza's command, how could I, a Saiyan prince, always rely on others? Forget it, let's not talk about him. My only goal now is to kill you two and let me have a good time. Dodoria and Sabo were stunned. Dodoria grinned, looked at Sabo, and said jokingly, Sabo, did you hear that? He said he wanted to kill the two of us. Sabo's mouth corners slightly raised, revealing an elegant smile. It seems that Vegeta's strength has improved a lot in the past year. Sabo pressed the detector and frowned immediately. Hey, that's not right, why is your combat power declining? Are you injured? Dodoria also pressed the detector immediately and was stunned for a moment. Am I seeing it right? Dodoria looked at Vegeta and asked. Vegeta, shouldn't your combat power be 18,000? Why is it 5,000 now? Vegeta laughed and said, stupid guy, that kind of thing is out of date. Now I can control my combat power at will. Okay, the reminiscing is over, you two can stop together. Vegeta put on an arrogant attitude and looked at Sabo and Dodoria. Seeing that annoying expression, Dodoria got angry in an instant. You actually let us attack together, you be *****************, don't underestimate me. As he said that, Dodoria pushed Vegeta with both hands, and countless powerful ki blasts suddenly hit Vegeta. In an instant, the energy bomb blew up the place where Vegeta was in the ground, setting off a violent explosion and billowing smoke. However, Dodoria's prince's fighting method was still continuing, but he heard Vegeta's voice from behind. It's not that I underestimate you, Dodoria, you can't hit me with this move. Dodoria was shocked. He immediately realized that Vegeta was behind him. Instead of looking back at him directly, he raised his thick arm and punched Vegeta behind him. However, Vegeta actually raised his hand and grabbed Dodoria's fist. Dodoria wanted to struggle, but Vegeta twisted again, clamping Dodoria's other arm. Dodoria was shocked. Sabo, me. Instantly, Sabo flashed and punched Vegeta. Vegeta raised his mouth and kicked Dodoria on the buttocks. Dodoria's fleshy body hit the mountain directly. In an instant, the mountain collapsed and the ground rumbled. After Vegeta kicked Dodoria, he kicked Sabo who was attacking with his backhand. Before Sabo touched Vegeta, Vegeta kicked him in the chin. Advertisement. Sabo's body unconsciously retreated dozens of meters away. Vegeta fought two people alone, with ease. The repelled Sabo rushed to his mouth abnormally and smeared the corner of his mouth. A trace of blood appeared on his hand. Sabo's expression, which was originally calm, also showed anger at this moment. Damn it, Vegeta, you made me bleed. I hate it most when someone dirty my face. As he said that, Sabo suddenly attacked Vegeta. However, although he was fighting seriously, all his moves failed frequently. Sabo obviously realized that he was no match for Vegeta. So, he immediately transformed. His body swelled up, and his body was covered with disgusting spots. But his strength was much stronger than before. Sabo said angrily, Vegeta, you forced me to do this. I hate transformation the most. But now, if I don't transform, I will die in your hands. Wake up, let me show you my true strength. As he said that, Sabo blasted Vegeta with a stronger force than before. Unexpectedly, just like before, his attack failed again. He was a little unconvinced, and continued to chase an attack. But Vegeta dodged them all. Vegeta looked at him calmly with his arms folded across his chest. And he was already exhausted and panting. Sabo was shocked. How is it possible? How can you be so powerful? Just when he came to his senses, Vegeta's mouth curled up into a sly smile. HMPH, it's so ugly that I don't even have the interest to communicate with you. Then, go to hell. As he said that, Vegeta raised his fist again and beat Sabo. Sabo screamed in pain from Vegeta's beating. Dodoria, who was standing by, had just come out of the ruins and wanted to help. Seeing Sabo being beaten, he was suddenly shocked. How can Vegeta be so powerful? Asterisk. However, at this moment, the detector on his face rang frequently. Dodoria immediately focused on the detector. After seeing the number, Dodoria finally understood why neither of them could beat Vegeta. His combat power reached more than 40,000, which was higher than any of them. He was finally scared. Dodoria shouted. Vegeta, stop. Vegeta didn't even turn his head to pay attention to Dodoria. He had to die too. Sabo begged for mercy with fear in his eyes. Please spare me. As long as you join forces with us, we will definitely defeat Frieza. But Vegeta obviously didn't think of letting him go, nor Dodoria. When they were under Frieza, Dodoria, Chuyi, and Sabo, they were high and mighty and humiliated Vegeta many times. Vegeta could no longer tolerate the humiliation of the past. Now that he has the strength, how could he let them go? Sabo, I didn't expect you to have such a miserable day. I want to kill Frieza, and I don't need you to join forces. You are not worthy. As he said that, Vegeta picked up Sabo and beat him again. He was beaten so hard that his bones were broken and he vomited blood. After just a few punches, Sabo was knocked to the ground and couldn't get up again. Vegeta had vented enough. He pointed at Sabo with one hand, and an energy bullet slowly condensed. Ha 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 ha, it seems that the results of my training these days are very good. Besides, I didn't use the full calendar to beat you two. After many years, I can finally kill you two bastards. Go to hell. Just when Vegeta was about to kill Sabo, Dodoria called him to stop. Stop, Vegeta, and powerful warriors that cannot be controlled. 0. This secret is about you Saiyans. Your Saiyan planet Vegeta was not actually destroyed by a meteorite. But if many Saiyans unite, they may win. Seeing Sabo's broken bones and horrible, almost with only one breath left. The secret of Saiyans? Vegeta asked. Worried that your race will have Super Saiyans in the future. What is most worrying is that among your Saiyan race. He said as he stepped back. Secret? What secret? Dodoria swallowed. So, King Frieza will Saiyans were summoned back, and the planet was destroyed in one fell swoop, and the Saiyan race was completely extinct. Hearing the news from Dodoria, Vegeta's pupils shrank sharply. Vegeta felt something was wrong a long time ago. Their Vegeta planet didn't explode early or late, but it happened that the planet was attacked by a meteorite after Frieza summoned the warriors. It was a bit of a coincidence. In addition, although most Saiyans were not as strong as him. However, the strength of many people should not be underestimated. As a warrior of a fighting nation, once they noticed that a meteorite fell on the planet, they could counterattack in advance and smash the meteorite with a gas bomb. I see. Vegeta suddenly realized. Dodoria felt that Vegeta was moved by his words, and continued, only you, Vegeta. You should thank King Frieza, who is a leader who appreciates talents. He felt that it was a pity for a young genius like you to die. Therefore, he specially assigned a task to your team, which saved you from death. Now, as long as you are willing to admit your mistakes to King Frieza, and help find the Dragon Ball, King Frieza will definitely let bygones be bygones. Enter. A Saiyan cannot defeat Lord Frieza by his own strength. So, my Frieza country was able to conquer countless planets in a very short time. King Frieza decided that it was necessary to take measures in advance. Yes. Dodoria's face dripped with sweat. Vegeta dispersed the energy, turned his head and looked at Dodoria and asked. However, as the number of Saiyan warriors increased, King Frieza felt uneasy. Dodoria's fat trembled, and he immediately took 2 steps back. Vegeta snorted coldly. If you don't tell me, I'll send you two to death now, tell me now. But I'm a little worried. Vegeta was obviously stunned. What did you say? King Frieza is glad that he conquered you Saiyans and forced you to serve the Frieza army. Moreover, as the population increases, such people are also increasing. Even if many of you Saiyans united, they might not be the opponent of Lord Frieza. If you can spare both of us, I have a secret to tell you. Dodoria heard his interested tone and was obviously a little motivated. There is still a legend of Super Saiyan. After I'm done, you won't kill us, right? In fact, if they were all warriors at your level. Dodoria swallowed again and continued. Vegeta's eyes were stern. Go on. Some Saiyans are born warriors like you. Chapter 111 The Ginyu Force arrives. After listening to Dodoria's truth, Vegeta was silent for a long time. There were more than 10 Namekians in their village. They also heard Vegeta's experience and felt sorry for him. The village elder was the wisest person in the village. He heard these words and made up a perfect story in his mind in an instant. It turned out that this person was also a member of Frieza's army, but he rebelled. No wonder he was as murderous as them and didn't look like a good person. No wonder he was so cruel to Frieza's army. It turned out that the warriors of their race were conquered. It seems that after the establishment of the Universe Empire, Emperor Frieza, in order to consolidate his position, completely wiped out the heroes who had fought all over the world. Thinking of this, the village elder sighed secretly. He didn't sympathize with Saiyans, nor did he hate Frieza's army. He just felt that many people in the world were controlled by the stupid thinking of hatred and desire, which caused so many disasters. He thought, if more people were like them, the Namekians, and had the wisdom of not competing with the world, how good would the world be? Just when Vegeta was silent, Dodoria had already hidden hundreds of meters away. He felt that the distance was far enough, and immediately laughed. Ha ha ha, this incident is a big blow to you. I will take this opportunity to return to King Frieza. Goodbye, Vegeta. With that, Dodoria turned around and ran. However, Vegeta showed a wicked smile on his face. You are wrong, Dodoria. My people were destroyed, my planet was bombed, although I am surprised. But I don't care about those things. What really matters to me, what makes me hate you, is that I have been driven and used by Frieza since I was a child, and I have been bullied by you. As a Saiyan prince, I am unwilling to accept this. Therefore, I hate you and Frieza to the core. And you, Dodoria, do you think you are safe by keeping such a distance? Do you still want to escape from me? What? Hearing this distance, Vegeta noticed it, and Dodoria's fat face trembled. While speaking, Vegeta turned into a stream of light and questioned Dodoria. Dodoria was startled. He immediately realized that Vegeta's speed was faster than before. At this speed, his combat power must be more than 40,000. Dodoria was about to beg for mercy again, but he saw an energy wave blasting towards his face. There was no way to hide. Dodoria screamed in fear. The energy bomb exploded right next to her face. After a violent explosion, Dodoria's body was blown into dust in the universe. Vegeta felt the tremendous power on his body and felt happy. He looked at his palm and sighed. I didn't expect it. I have only been training on Earth for such a short time, and I have become so strong. Dodoria and Sabo together are not my opponents. Vegeta's figure flashed and fell to the ground, pointing at the seriously injured Sabo with one hand. Hee, looking at your posture, do you want to crawl away? It's a pity, Vegeta, will never let you have a chance to survive. As he spoke, the energy bomb exploded at Sabo. Sabo's face was filled with fear, and he wanted to run but was powerless, so he could only drown in the sea of energy. Soon, Elder Yin presented a Dragon Ball. Vegeta picked up the Dragon Ball and sensed the breath of others. Some people have already started to gather, and they can sense a faint breath, including Kakarot. So Vegeta turned into a stream of light and flew towards the breath of Son Goku and others. On Frieza's spaceship. Since Frieza brought his army to this planet, he has not received a single Dragon Ball, and he has suffered heavy losses. After receiving the news that several teams were wiped out and the senior General Yi was killed. Just now, the news came that his confidant Dodoria and Sabo were killed. At this moment, Frieza was furious. Damn it, who dared to go against me? An adjutant immediately advised. King Frieza, don't be angry. I have contacted the Ginyu Force, and they will arrive on this planet soon. With their help, they will definitely help you collect 7 Dragon Balls as soon as possible. Frieza asked back. Are they almost there? Reporting to the king, their original target was the planet Adrak, and they were about to pass by us. They received the news and immediately turned around. As expected, they are about to arrive. Frieza nodded. It's good that they can come, otherwise I have to do it myself to find Dragon Ball. The adjutant walked out of Frieza's office, sighed, and said, for many years, my Frieza army has not suffered such a blow. On the trip to Namek, even Dodoria and Mr. Sabo died, which really surprised me. Although their strength cannot be compared with the king, but the setbacks they encountered on this planet really gave me a bad feeling. Quote. He looked towards Frieza's office. I guess King Frieza feels the same way. Frieza's face was also uncertain in the office. At first, he thought Vegeta was a threat to him. But then he thought again, that was not right. Vegeta has always been under his control and there is no way he can threaten him. Frieza thought of the message left by Nappa a year ago. There is a Saiyan on Earth called Kakarot. It is said that a group of Earthlings have gathered to bring Vegeta to kill him. When Frieza heard this news, he just smiled indifferently. For him, this kind of thing is really ridiculous. He was too lazy to go so far to find that remote planet to destroy them. Since he ruled the Frieza army, the entire universe has never encountered anyone who is 1/10 as powerful as him. He is a natural king, an invincible existence. However, today, Frieza's mind. I couldn't help but think of that Super Saiyan legend. Just when Frieza was daydreaming, a soldier ran in to report. Report to King Frieza, the Ginyu Force wants to see you. Frieza stood up all of a sudden. Advertisement. So fast. As expected of the Ginyu Force, they are so efficient. Oh ho ho ho. As he spoke, Frieza walked out of the spaceship. And the second is to kill those who hinder me from collecting Dragon Balls. Frieza's face showed a trace of unnatural look. The captain of the Ginyu Special Forces looked confident. Frieza said, I came to this planet to collect 10 Dragon Balls. A pineapple-headed man made a strange dance pose, and then made a very funny move. But someone snatched the Dragon Balls away first. Goldo. Geese. Finally, the 5 people changed into a neat but uncoordinated combination again, and shouted to Frieza, Ginyu Force, come and report. King Frieza, please tell us our mission this time. Like a ballet move, and shouted to Frieza, Ginyu Force, wreck 'em. The first is to collect 7 Dragon Balls. My detector has already grasped Vegeta's movements. A guy with white hair, red skin, and an earthly look knelt on one knee, with his hands open and raised. I see, it seems that he found helpers on Earth, probably Kakarot and the others. You must be careful, Vegeta can defeat Sabo and Dodoria, it's strange. His friends can also defeat Chuyi. I think they are quite strong. Ginyu smiled and said, don't worry, give it to us. After that, the Ginyu Force once again posed in an awkward pose. Ginyu Force, come on, move out. After shouting the slogan, the 5 people immediately flew away. So, your mission is very important. It's easy, King Frieza. A green-skinned little man opened his hands like he was flying a plane. There was really no other way, so I called you here. You know one of the people in that group, Vegeta from a year ago. The last guy with 2 horns on his head and purple skin was the most unrestrained. Ginyu smiled and said, thank you for the compliment. Frieza nodded. They immediately danced with excitement. A blue-skinned guy seemed to have done a broadcasting body shit, he put his hands up. At the same time, someone is moving towards him at high speed. Ginyu. Bart. Ginyu pressed the detector and continued, he is moving at high speed not far away. It seems that Vegeta is going to meet up with 2 companions. He spread his legs and looked down at Frieza through the visor. And the energy reactions of his companions have also been captured. Frieza. I was waiting for you, and you came. You are so straightforward. The Frieza army I brought with me, as well as several generals, died on this planet. When the 5 Ginyu Force members saw Frieza, Chapter 112 everyone is showing off, except Vegeta who was getting beaten. A moment later, Vegeta came to the place where Son Goku and the others were gathered. Kakarot, Krillin, Chichi, Tien Shinhan, and Yamcha all held a Dragon Ball. Bulma glanced at everyone and the Dragon Balls in their hands. And smiled. It seems that my plan is good. I didn't expect it to be so smooth. The 6 Dragon Balls were actually gathered together. Bulma said. Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi, Yamcha, and Vegeta. I didn't introduce you 4 to me. This is Den from Namek. He is a genius of the Dragon Clan and a master of healing. He will take us to find the Elder. There is the last Dragon Ball. Of course, the Dragon Ball is just a purpose. Den said that the Elder has a way to help everyone improve their combat effectiveness and stimulate their potential. You are trying your best to practice and become stronger every day. I think you definitely don't want to miss this kind of thing. Goku knew about this a long time ago. Chichi and Krillin were with Den and heard him talk about it. However, others have not heard of it. Hearing this, Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi, Yamcha and Vegeta were all stunned. Can it stimulate potential? Can it become stronger? Hearing that it can stimulate potential, Vegeta couldn't help but clench his hands. Speaking of potential, who has more potential than him, a Saiyan genius? Bulma nodded. That's right. The Great Elder has a guard named Naru, who is very strong. It is because the Great Elder has stimulated all his potential. Is it right, Saitong? As he said, Bulma looked at Dend. Dend nodded. That's right, as long as there is potential, the Elder can help stimulate it. Hearing this news, several people were very happy. 13 Bulma continued. Okay, we almost wiped out Frieza's army, so we shouldn't stay for too long. Let's go find the Great Elder. Quote. Everyone nodded. In order to prevent the spaceship from being shot down by Frieza's army, they chose to fly forward. Dend flew in front, and everyone else followed. Goku was responsible for holding Bulma, and Bulma also picked up a Dragon Ball. Although it was a bit heavy, it was actually very comfortable to hold such a big Dragon Ball. However, at this moment, a flash of lightning flashed through the minds of several people. Everyone looked in another direction. Chichi asked. Goku, it seems that 5 people are coming towards us. Son Goku nodded and said, I sense it. Son Goku looked at Bulma in his hand, and then looked at everyone. Let's not go to the Elder first, it's too dangerous. According to their speed, it can be calculated that they will arrive in about an hour. Let's kill the people chasing us first, and then go to the Elder. Bulma in Son Goku's arms nodded. Okay, but Goku doesn't have to do it. Chichi doesn't have to do it, leave the opportunity to them. The 5 of them are just right, you 2 stay and protect me. Son Goku and Chichi nodded. Everyone was very happy when they saw that Son Goku and Chichi did not take action. There were 5 people chasing them, and they were also 5 people fighting. 5 against 5, they could have a good fight, it was a rare opportunity. Chichi sensed their aura, then compared it with her own, and said. The aura of these people is very evil, and they are much stronger than the previous Frieza army. But fortunately, there is no gap with us. It doesn't matter if I don't participate, anyway, I will crush them, and the opportunity is given to you. Quote. Krillin nodded. Then I will have a good fight to have fun. I didn't expect that we could grow to the level we are today. Quote. Yamcha moved his joints and said, "Fortunately, we have been practicing and getting stronger. Today, many years of practice finally came in handy, and I am very happy." Quote. Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi were also eager to try. Vegeta saw that everyone was looking forward to it, and said cautiously, "Don't be careless. These 5 people should be the strongest Ginyu Force under Frieza. They not only have strong combat power, but also incredible abilities." Quote. Tien Shinhan asked curiously, "What do you mean by incredible abilities?" Vegeta thought for a while and said, "I heard that among them, there are warriors with the fastest speed in the universe. And people with the ability to control time. There are also abilities that I don't know." Quote. The fastest speed in the universe. People with the ability to control time. After hearing this, several people were surprised. Bulma immediately said, "Everyone, don't worry, selling calendars is the hard truth. Doesn't Jiaozi also know the immobilization technique? If the strength exceeds a certain level, then time control may not be effective, everyone just needs to play well." Quote. Jiaozi was stunned for a moment, and seeing that everyone was looking at him, he nodded. "Yes, Bulma's analysis is correct. They are much stronger than me, so I can't control them." Quote. Advertisement. Everyone seemed relieved. Bulma looked at Son Goku, then at everyone. "Besides, we have 2 more people. In case of any accidents, Shanchi and Goku can't take over." Son Goku scratched his head and said, "You can do your best. These people are not strong, just don't suffer losses because of being too careless." Everyone nodded again. Soon, Son Goku took Bulma, Chichi and Little Den to hide in the distance and found a good place to watch the battle. Tien Shinhan, Yamcha, Jiaozi, Krillin and Vegeta. The 5 people lined up in a team, waiting for the arrival of the Ginyu Force. The 6 Dragon Balls were not placed next to Bulma, but not far from them. A moment later, the 5 members of the Ginyu Force fell from the sky. Ginyu looked at the 5 of them. "Hello, Vegeta. I didn't expect you to put together a 5-man team. However, Vegeta, the team you formed is not in good shape. 3 short and 2 tall, not coordinated at all." Then, Ginyu looked at everyone and said, "Come on, let's show our style." Several people nodded, and then started a dance. Finally, the 5 words of the Ginyu Force came out, and several people appeared on the stage as if they were walking on stage. Krillin and his group looked a little awkward, but they didn't say anything. After all, they have been professionally trained. Although the 5 people's entrance dance was a little funny. Vegeta, who always had a bad temper, didn't mean to laugh at all. And even clenched his fists tightly, not daring to move rashly. The aura of these people, except for Goldo who was a little weaker, the other 4 were stronger than him. Ginyu saw the 6 Dragon Balls beside them at a glance, shining there. Bart asked, "The 6 spherical objects behind you are Dragon Balls, right? You have already collected 6, and you only need 1 more to complete them." "Hey, are you talking? Are you all dumb?" Krillin took a step forward. "Yes, these 6 are Dragon Balls." Ginyu's expression was very calm, and he immediately suggested. "From the detector, I can see that your energy fluctuates. You should have the ability to control your combat power, right? You can defeat Sabo and Dodoria, so you must be very powerful. We haven't encountered an opponent worth fighting for a long time. Now, the opportunity has come. You are 5 people, and we are 5 people too. Why don't we fight each other, and whoever wins will take the Dragon Ball away, how about it?" Krillin didn't expect the other party to be so disciplined, and immediately responded, "Okay, then, how do we fight? Do you want a one-on-one fight, or do you want to fight together?" Several members of the Ginyu Special Forces looked at Krillin with their hands on their hips. Gi suggested, "One-on-one, we prefer to fight alone." The group of people on Krillin's side also nodded in agreement. "Okay." Ginyu laughed. "Very good, then let's decide by rock paper scissors." As he said, the 5 Ginyu Special Forces gathered together and started rock paper scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Draw. No winner. Damn it. Seeing them playing rock paper scissors leisurely, Sonobayashi and the others were a little surprised. "How about we play rock paper scissors?" Vegeta, Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi and Yamcha also surrounded Krillin. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Seeing that both teams started playing rock paper scissors, Bulma was a little unhappy. "A life and death battle, why are you guys making it like a fight?" Son Goku said with some concern. "I don't care about rock paper scissors or something. I just hope that the dance on the other side will never be transmitted to Earth." Bulma rested his chin on his head and looked at the other party's awkward dance posture. And laughed. How is it possible, who would learn such an ugly posture? Son Goku wanted to refute, but suddenly saw Chichi who was watching carefully beside him. He and Chichi didn't give birth to Son Gohan. So no one should inherit this eye-catching technique and bring it back to Earth. No, although there is no Gohan, but this time there are more people who forgive the Ginyu Force. It is known that Krillin and Vegeta will not do such stupid things. It is not certain whether Jiaozi, Yamcha, and Tien Shinhan will become such stupid fighters. Son Goku couldn't help but sweat. I hope they won't, it's too eye-catching. Dend looked at the dance of the Ginyu Force, and then looked at Bulma and Goku. I think their dance and posture are not okay. The elder once said that every nation has its own customs and culture. Bulma was stunned for a moment, and wanted to refute, but seeing Den's serious face, she had to nod. You're right. Chichi also nodded. If a child does that action, it should be acceptable. After a while, the two sides of the barrier abandoned the order. Goldo vs. Jiaozi. Krillin vs. Bart. Yamcha vs. Geese. Vegeta vs. Rikum. Tien Shinhan vs. Captain Ginyu. Looking at the 5 people fighting, Son Goku couldn't help but worry. Although Vegeta will catch up later and far exceed Krillin and the others. However, Vegeta is the weakest among them now. His fighting power should be close to Rikum at present, but it seems to be a little short. Son Goku saw Den from the corner of his eye. For some reason, a picture appeared in Goku's mind. Whether it is a human or a ghost, everyone is showing off, only Vegeta is being beaten. Chapter 113 Vegeta's Weakness. How lucky, Goldo is the first to appear. Lickum said enviously. What is there to envy? The little guy on the opposite side is the weakest at first glance, and there is definitely no interest at all. Ruozi walked in front of Goldo and asked in disbelief. I obviously suppressed my aura, how do you know that I am the weakest among us? Goldo's mouth twitched. Humph, see, I knew that the opponent I drew was not interesting at all. I have bad luck, there is nothing I can do, I can only clean up the garbage. Okay, start, it hurts. Lickum urged. Goldo looked disdainful, as if he could kill the little guy in front of him without any effort. Jiaozi did not dare to be careless at all, floated into the sky, and looked at Goldo. He did not give the other party time to react, just pointed his finger, and a whole wave gathered instantly and shot towards Goldo. Goldo was shocked. He watched a wave of energy blasting towards him. It was in front of him in an instant, and there was no time to think about it. Goldo shouted the word, still, as if in an emergency reaction. In an instant, the time of the entire space stopped. A whole wave with powerful force just shot over Goldo's head. Goldo was startled and immediately trotted, avoiding the attack position of the whole wave and the attack radius. It seems that he is familiar with the route. Goku, Bulma and Chichi was surprised. This was the first time they had seen a move that could freeze the whole wave. It was indeed called time stop. Bulma breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, his time stop is only regional, otherwise it would be too powerful. Bulma finished speaking, and Goldo ran out of the whole wave's attack radius. At this moment, he released his superpowers and gasped for breath. The whole wave hit the ground directly, exploding into a cloud of dust. Jiaozi above seemed to realize that he had missed the target and looked around. The next second, Jiaozi saw Goldo. Whole wave, Abu. Another whole wave hit Goldo. Goldo was startled and shouted, time stop, again. He looked up again and saw that another whole wave was about to hit him. Goldo was horrified. He looked at the other members of the Ginyu Force. He felt a little uneasy. His speed was so fast, the energy wave was a bit strong, and the bombardment was so frequent that he was a bit overwhelmed. No, I can't use time pause to consume my physical strength anymore. I must kill him as soon as possible. After dodging Jiaozi's second whole wave, Goldo took the lead. He put his hands on his shoulders and shouted at Jiaozi. Ah, ah, ah. In an instant, a mysterious force bound Jiaozi. Jiaozi was startled. This feeling was exactly the same as his superpowers. He tried to move and found that he was like being stuck in a quagmire, but he could still move a little. It was as strenuous as moving in a quagmire. Seeing that Jiaozi finally couldn't move, Goldo wiped the sweat from his forehead. You little devil, you are really not simple. You can make me use space stillness. Unfortunately, you were caught by me. I'm going to kill you. After saying that, Goldo looked around and ran towards a tree. Then he cut the tree into a sharp wood. I will make you into a skewer and roast it on the fire. It must be delicious. Goldo looked at Jiaozi and raised the wood to throw it at Jiaozi. At this moment, Jiaozi opened his hands towards him and his eyes widened. Instantly, Goldo also felt that his whole body was wrapped in the mud and he couldn't move. So, the figures of Jiaozi and Goldo were frozen. The Ginyu Force who were watching the excitement were all stunned. What's going on? Why is Goldo not moving? Tien Shinhan saw Jiaozi using the immobilization technique and was evenly matched with Goldo. He immediately shouted. Jiaozi, hurry up and don't let him use the time pause. Jiaozi's eyes flickered, and he already understood. He struggled to move out of the quagmire of Goldo's acupuncture. But at the same time, he did not remove the immobilization technique. And, while he was using his superpowers, he kept approaching Goldo. However, he flew behind Goldo. Goldo was shocked, and he realized at this moment that his acupuncture technique seemed unable to completely control the opponent. A sense of crisis arose spontaneously. Krillin, Tien Shinhan and others were also concentrating. Fearing that the other members of the Ginyu Force would not follow the moral code of martial arts and disturb the competition. However, the rest of the Ginyu Force had no intention of coming to help. They all put their hands on their hips and watched the two men's competition. Dongdongbo. It was unknown how long the two men had been competing. The moment Jiaozi released the immobilization technique. A Dongdongbo shot at Goldo. Quote. After a violent explosion, Goldo was submerged in the Dongdongbo. At this moment, Jiaozi also freed himself from the quagmire-like restraints and finally breathed a sigh of relief. Phew, that was a close call, it's almost like my superpower. Just then, a gust of wind blew by. The smoke and dust dissipated, and Goldo lay on the ground with his eyes closed. Jiaozi immediately laughed happily. Tianjin, I won. Tian Xinhan nodded to Jiaozi to show his approval. The other members of the Ginyu Force were all surprised. Giz said. Oh, Gildo lost. Bart said reluctantly. It's not easy for the captain to develop such a good dance. Without one person, our Ginyu Force's formation will not be perfect. Lickham crossed his arms and said unhappily. He's dead, there's nothing we can do. Captain Ginyu had to re-study the formation of 4 people. Quote. Ginyu continued. We'll talk about this later. Who's next? Bart immediately said. Oh, it's me, Captain. It's my turn to fight. Ginyu nodded. Very good, don't be careless, don't embarrass our Ginyu Force. Bart nodded. Don't worry, Captain. Soon, Bart walked to the front and posed a charming posture. Ginyu Force. Bart, seeing that they were from Frieza's army, but they were quite disciplined. Krillin also introduced himself to him. He put his hands together and nodded to Bart. Earth Turtle Immortal style, Krillin, please teach me more. Chichi rested his chin with both hands, looked at Goku in disbelief. And said, Goku, I didn't expect that these guys were Frieza's men, but they were still quite disciplined. Son Goku nodded. Yes, this is a life and death battle. People who are so polite are rare even on Earth. Bulma said. I feel like they are just stupid, but it's better this way, it's easier to deal with. Goku and Chichi nodded. Chichi said. Yeah, I feel like he's missing a string in his brain, indeed, he feels a little bit stubborn. Bulma looked at Krillin and Bart, both of whom were very polite and behaved very politely and rigidly. She immediately felt that although these people were in different camps, they were not so evil. At least they would not attack by surprise. She actually took out a cigarette and a lighter and put one in her mouth. At this moment, Goku suddenly found that Goku and Chichi were looking at her. She took out the cigarette box again, shook it in front of the two of them. And asked. Why, you two want to have one too? Chichi quickly waved her hand. No. Son Goku. Smoking is harmful to health and will affect my strength. Bulma rolled her eyes at Chichi and Goku respectively and lit up on her own. Klin's strength is far superior to Bart's. Therefore, Krillin could kill him in one move. But Krillin felt that the other party was quite polite and might repent. So he fought with him for dozens of moves before defeating him, and did not kill him. However, Krillin might have thought too much. Bart lost himself, but he did not see that Krillin was better than him in both hard power and fighting skills. He thought that he was careless for a moment and lost to Krillin. Therefore, even though he was severely injured, he still thought about the opportunity to fight back. Similarly, the battle between Giz and Yamcha also started soon. The two seemed to be equally strong, and it was hard to tell who would win. However, Yamcha still had more practical experience. Even if he controlled his strength to the same level as him, he still easily defeated him. Ginyu was wearing a detector and had a toothache. From the perspective of energy, how come the strength of both sides is similar, but we are the ones who lost? It's very frustrating. Lickham laughed. He, Captain, they are too careless. Let's see how I perform. Lickham walked forward. Vegeta, you have kept me waiting for a long time. Now it's our turn to fight. Vegeta also stepped forward, snorted coldly, and did not speak. Instead, he made a starting move. Lickham saw this starting move and immediately became playful. He immediately made a move that he thought was very elegant, like a ballerina, spinning several times on one foot. Finally, he stopped in this position and looked up at Vegeta. How about it, Vegeta? My posture is cool, right? Vegeta. The other people watching the game were also silent. This B's appearance looks the closest to a macho man. However, his dancing style was the most sao. Making those ballet-like movements, it was simply eye-catching. Vegeta was not careless when he saw such a look. Advertisement. He shouted, and his aura suddenly surged. In an instant, Vegeta's aura reached the highest level. Riku's detector also beeped at this moment. Before he could see the reading, Vegeta rushed towards him and punched him in the face. In an instant, Riku flew backwards. Vegeta chased him closely, and added a flying kick, a side kick, a knee strike, and a dunk. A set of combined punches was coherent and smooth. He didn't dare to give him a chance to fight back. With Vegeta's last dunk, Riku's body shot out backwards, piercing a mountain, exploding countless rocks. And the rolling smoke and dust submerged him in it. However, after such a set of combos, Vegeta didn't relax. He opened his arms, and two electric current-like energies gathered in his palms. As his breath condensed and saturated, he put his arms together. Gallic Cannon. A strong qigong appeared between his hands. Seeing Vegeta use such a large ki blast without any sense of measure, Goku, who was watching the battle not far away, quickly pressed Bulma down, fearing that she would be injured by the aftermath of the battle. Who knew that as soon as he pressed it, he heard Bulma's exclamation. Quote. Son Goku quickly let go of his hand, but saw that Bulma had a cigarette butt in her mouth, and the sparks burned her lips. Fortunately, Bulma swept the cigarette butt away. Son Goku was startled. When did you light another one? Bulma blew on her lips and complained. It's over, I'm injured. I don't know if the Senzu tube doesn't work, will it leave a scar? As she said that, Vegeta curled her lips and looked at Son Goku. At this moment, Vegeta's Gallic Cannon was condensed. Instantly, a powerful ki blast suddenly blasted into the smoke where Lickham was. At this moment, Chichi suddenly attacked, and Shima's head bag was caught in Wangli. Just as Bulma was about to explode, she sensed something unusual. A wave of air swept towards them with smoke and dust. She immediately felt as if her back had been baptized by a strong wind. Bulma was speechless, seeing that Chichi had saved her. She had to suppress her complaints. After a moment, Bulma raised her head and looked in the direction of the battle. Vegeta was seen floating in the low air, his arms still in the ki blast posture, breathing heavily. A huge earth pit was blasted in front of him by the ki blast. Because this round of Gallic cannon was fired by rubbing the ground. It was not very deep, only a few dozen meters. But it spread far away and there was no end in sight. Did you win? Bulma couldn't see her opponent and looked left and right at Chichi and Goku. Chichi looked at the smoke cautiously and said uncertainly, "It's not clear yet. The smoke hinders the perception of the breath." At this moment, a gust of wind blew and the smoke dispersed a lot. Chichi's eyes suddenly became stern. "I sense that he is still alive. Vegeta can't beat him." Quote. Just at this moment, a stream of energy swept through the smoke and dust, dispersing the smoke and dust. Likumu's clothes were torn to pieces by the explosion. He stood there with his legs crossed and his arms keeping his body balanced. He opened his mouth, revealing a mouth with one tooth missing. "Hi, Vegeta, the warm-up is over, I'm going to get serious." Vegeta's pupils shrank. Damn, he's not hurt at all. In an instant, Vegeta's breath wilted. Krillin and others not far away seemed to sense something. Why did Vegeta admit defeat immediately after he couldn't beat the opponent with one set of moves? And I have a mental understanding of martial arts. While Vegeta was taking the starting stance, his eyes kept looking at Riculum. Then there was another knee strike, which pushed Vegeta out. Continuing to dodge the next move, he was actually thankful for a moment. Just thinking about comparing strength, doesn't he try strange moves? It was obvious that Vegeta had listened to their words. When he meets a strong enemy, doesn't he try to challenge himself? Two fists swept by, and Vegeta was glad that he dodged them. "Humph, why don't you mind your own business?" Quote. "Vegeta, don't be discouraged, fight well." So, Vegeta looked solemn, and immediately dodged the two fists when Riculum's attack arrived. Unconsciously, I seem to have entered the realm of farming. In a duel between masters, basically there can be no flaws. It was simply stupid. Tien Shinhan is well versed in martial arts, and immediately loudly comforted. The power of those two punches was very strong, and Vegeta knew he couldn't bear it. As long as your mentality does not collapse and you hold on. Even if the opponent is stronger than you, as long as his mentality is not as good as yours, he will sooner or later show a flaw. Mano, is this a fight? But at that speed, he could barely keep up. Swish. Vegeta was stunned for a moment, and the languid aura suddenly disappeared. In an instant, Riculum made fists with both hands and shot towards Vegeta. While talking, Vegeta once again took the starting stance. Your strength difference is not big, you should have a chance. Moreover, the mentality is the foundation of fighting. Such a flaw would only make him get beaten even harder. However, in an instant, Riculum kicked Vegeta on the back. Trying to find his weakness and attack again. However, at this moment, Son Goku was suddenly stunned. Not far away, Son Goku watched Vegeta's fight and shook his head secretly. After just watching him for a few moves, Son Goku understood Vegeta's weakness. Vegeta managed to dodge the first move, and instead of thinking about counter-attacking quickly. You must be cautious at all times, and be cautious again. Riculum shouted. Yo-ho, punch. Chapter 114 Vegeta. Smells so good. Originally, Vegeta thought that he could not beat Rikum, and he had no strong will to resist. However, when he was fighting, he suddenly found that it seemed that only Captain Ginyu was still standing in the Ginyu Force. And Kakarot behind him, as well as the few Earthlings, were all intact. In a hazy state of consciousness, Vegeta seemed to think that we had a great advantage. However, another thing hit Vegeta again. They all defeated their opponents. And I, King Vegeta, was beaten by someone. For a moment, Vegeta suddenly became angry. Why, I am the Saiyan Prince, a rare young celebration group. I have fallen to the last place. This is unbearable, absolutely unbearable. The beaten Vegeta suddenly stood up and shouted. Vegeta, who was shot backwards, stepped on the ground and fought back again. Rikum thought that Vegeta had no fighting spirit and that his victory was already in his grasp. However, at this moment, he actually saw Vegeta rushing towards him. A silly smile appeared on the corner of Likum's mouth. The next moment, Vegeta's attack arrived. The powerful fist suddenly hit Likum. Likum did not dare to be careless. He immediately raised his arms and crossed them forward to resist Vegeta's moves. Pa pa pa. Vegeta's set of consecutive punches hit Likum's defense. After several consecutive punches, Vegeta began to breathe a little. Likum also felt that his arms were a little numb. If he hadn't defended, these attacks would have been enough to hit him. Likum couldn't help but secretly praise Vegeta. Finally, when Vegeta's strength was exhausted, Likum hit 953 with a backhand strike and hammered Vegeta's chest. Vegeta screamed and spit out a mouthful of white liquid from the corner of his mouth. The next second, Lim's moves were connected. He was seen swinging his fist as big as a sandbag, hammering at Vegeta continuously. Vegeta groaned miserably. While hitting him, Likum laughed. Ha 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 ha, good job, good job. Vegeta, you are better than I thought. As he said that, Likum hit him hard and knocked him to the ground. The next second, Lickham posed a seductive posture again and knelt down on Vegeta's lower back. If this knee hit Vegeta's lower back, he would be half disabled. However, at this moment, Vegeta actually reacted. Slapped the ground hard, and shot into the sky. Lickham crushed the earth and looked up at Vegeta. Without a moment's hesitation, he chased Vegeta again. Vegeta was not as fast as him, and was caught up in just a breath, and was hammered down by Lickham again. This time, Vegeta fell into the water. Lickham in the sky seemed to enjoy this battle as well. He looked at the ripples on the water, with a silly smile on his face. At this moment, Vegeta's figure burst out from the water and punched Reckham in the abdomen. Reckham groaned miserably, and his body retreated with the impact of Vegeta's punch. Vegeta also used all his strength to punch him in the abdomen, trying to do more damage. However, Reckham retreated a few steps, and he endured the pain and stopped. The next moment, he used his mighty body to grab Vegeta, and then held him and went to the ground. The ground was instantly smashed into a big hole by BDCG. And Vegeta was actually planted upside down in the ground, leaving only his two legs exposed. Leak, leak, leak. Reckham took Vegeta out with a silly smile. However, he didn't expect it. As soon as Vegeta was lifted out of the ground, Vegeta's hands had already condensed a gas bullet. And a wave hit him in the face. After a loud bang, Lickham felt pain and finally let go of Vegeta. However, at this moment, Vegeta was already at the end of his rope. He fell to the ground, with countless bruises on his face and scars all over his body. He was panting heavily, staggering, and even standing up was a bit difficult. At this moment, Lickham, who had just been hit, stood up again. Most of his hair had been blown away by the energy wave, and his face was also covered with bruises and bloodstains. But he still showed a silly smile full of fighting spirit. Good, Vegeta, you fight beautifully. Other people watching the game were also surprised. Quote. What a weirdo. Lickham put his hands on his hips and asked Vegeta, do you have any more powerful moves? If not, prepare to die. Advertisement. Vegeta looked at Lickham breathlessly and said angrily, you ugly B****************. D. You actually teased me like a child, damn it. He wanted to fight back, but neither his injuries nor his existing physical strength were enough to support him to continue fighting. Finally, Vegeta lay on the ground. Lickham was stunned for a moment, and then said with some disappointment, I thought you had some tricks, but it turns out that it's no longer useful. Then, give me your life. As he said that, Lickham once again posed in a charming posture, and the next moment he opened his mouth wide towards Vegeta. A powerful energy wave suddenly blasted towards Vegeta. Vegeta at this moment, how could he have much strength, nor did he have the breath to resist. He could only die. Seeing that he was going to kill Vegeta, Krillin and his group were all shocked. Tien Shinhan took the lead and used a hard Qigong to block this mouth cannon for Vegeta. The violent explosion raised smoke and dust, and Tien Shinhan and Vegeta were wrapped in it. When the smoke and dust dissipated, Tien Shinhan was unharmed, and Vegeta was already lying on the ground. Tien Shinhan stood straight and looked at Reckham. He said seriously, he is already dying, there is no need to kill him, I will fight you. Reckham was stunned for a moment, and then looked at Ginyu behind him. Captain, this is your opponent, he wants to fight me, what should I do? Ginyu crossed his arms and said confidently, it doesn't matter, since you are having so much fun, I will give it to you. Reckham was overjoyed. Hee, thank you Captain. Then, Reckham faced Tien Shinhan directly. Hee, it's really boring to fight a dying Vegeta. I hope you can let me have some fun. Tien Shinhan took a step forward and opened his starting position. As you wish. Krillin saw that Vegeta was already dying, and immediately went over to help him up. Unexpectedly, he was insulted by him for helping him up. Mind your own business, B********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* die. Krillin frowned. Hey, Vegeta, what are you talking about? This is a fair one-on-one fight. You lost, and I'm here to help you. Tien Shinhan is fighting him fairly over there. Vegeta turned his head and glanced at Tien Shinhan. The expression on his face changed a little, but he still hid a deeper anger. It seemed that he was angry that he couldn't beat the other party. But they were all stronger than him. He was so angry, but he was helpless, which made his expression particularly wonderful. HMPH. None of your business. Vegeta snorted coldly and prepared to drag his broken body back. However, at this moment, Krillin stretched out his hand and a Senzu bean came into view. Seeing the Senzu bean in Krillin's hand, Vegeta, who was about to leave, suddenly stopped and could not walk. Krillin showed a sincere smile. Eat it, you don't have to be so angry, the advantage is on us. Before Krillin finished speaking, Vegeta grabbed the Senzu bean and put it into his mouth. After chewing it for a few times, Vegeta immediately recovered and his physical strength was full. It smells so good, because he had experienced serious injuries and difficult battles. Eating the Senzu bean this time also made his strength improve a lot again. He could deeply feel that an endless amount of power was gushing out of his body. Vegeta turned his head and looked at Reckham. He had a feeling in his heart that if he fought Reckham again, he could beat Reckham like beating a child. The battle between Tien Shinhan and Rikum began. Rikum, whose battle scenes were very funny, faced Tien Shinhan, who fought very rigorously, and the style of the painting was not at all inconsistent. Rikum flirted and attacked with his mouth, and all kinds of tricks emerged one after another. But they were all blocked by Tien Shinhan with the most rigorous moves of a martial artist, and then counterattacked. Punching, kicking, attacking, blocking. The moves were completely different from Rikum, and each move was quite master-like. Ginyu on the side was watching as if nothing had happened. Unexpectedly, at this moment, he saw that Vegeta had recovered as before. And the battle behind him was full of scars. In an instant, he realized that something was wrong. No, we lost one Goldo, and Geese and Bart were seriously injured. Now there is only Lickum and me. It seems that Lickum is not a match for the three-eyed man on the opposite side. And the opposite side is actually unscathed. A sense of crisis arises spontaneously. At this moment, the battle between Lickum and Tien Shinhan has entered a white-hot stage. Tien Shinhan's strength has also begun to be released. Ginyu's detector suddenly, beep beep, rang. His detector is specially made, with more complete functions. And it can search a higher combat power range and will not explode easily. Ginyu can't help but look at the detector curiously. However, it doesn't matter if you don't look at it, you will be shocked when you look at it. The combat power of the three-eyed man is maintained at several thousand. However, at the moment he makes a move, his combat power can immediately become 7 or 8. Ginyu was shocked. This guy is a hidden master. He immediately planned in his mind. Let's take a look. It seems that Lickum can't force him to use his full strength. Let me do it later. I will definitely force him to use his full strength. If his strength exceeds mine, I will take his body. Ginyu thought so, and the smile on his face became more and more obscene. At this moment, the more he looked at Tien Shinhan's body, the more he liked it. Chapter 115 Krillin, you've grown taller. Whether in terms of fighting power or fighting skills, Tien Shinhan is far superior to Lickum. Lickum fell down after the two fought for a while. Tien Shinhan also did not kill him, but just beat him so hard that he could not move. Vegeta, who was standing by, saw Geese, Bart and Lickum lying on the ground dying. And a trace of viciousness flashed across his face. He raised his palm and a wave of energy blasted at the three people lying on the ground. The energy wave exploded instantly when it touched them, flooding a large area of the ground. Quote. After a violent explosion, the three people were blown to pieces. Krillin and the others were shocked. Krillin asked, Vegeta, are you too cruel? They can't fight anymore, there's no need to kill them. Yamcha also nodded. That's right, I think fighting with them is quite enjoyable. Quote. Vegeta glanced at the people on Earth and snorted coldly. Humph, how disgusting. I really feel sorry for your kindness. You will die from this sooner or later. Don't think that they are not guilty of death just because they look funny. The number of people they have killed is beyond your comprehension. Everyone was silent for a while. Indeed, if they were not as strong as them, they would only be beaten by them like they beat Vegeta, and then die humiliatingly in their hands. It seems that only when Vegeta was beaten and almost killed did he understand the despair of being killed. Tien Shinhan also glanced at Vegeta. If he hadn't blocked that move for him just now, Vegeta would definitely die. At this moment, Captain Ginyu was the only one left in the Ginyu Force. Ginyu looked at his men and saw that they were all gone, and his face was very unhappy. The team that was formed with great difficulty was killed all at once. However, Ginyu was not very sad at this moment. Instead, he walked forward and couldn't help but applaud Tien Shinhan. Ha 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 ha, it's amazing. We are the Ginyu Force. I always thought that, in this world, only King Frieza is stronger than our Ginyu Force. Ginyu glanced at several Earthlings. And finally his eyes stayed on Tien Shinhan. Now, I understand why you can kill Dodoria and the others. And why Frieza was so anxious to find us. It turns out that you guys are so strong. If King Frieza didn't call us here to support him, I'm afraid he would have to work hard on his own. As he said, Tien Shinhan looked at Vegeta, who was 1 pound. The corners of his mouth lifted high, and he laughed. Vegeta, you are such a fool. Do you think that you can defeat King Frieza by betraying King Frieza and joining forces with them? Ha 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 ha, you are too naive. You can't touch a hair of King Frieza together. You don't understand the horror of King Frieza at all. Vegeta snorted coldly and said nothing. At this moment, Tien Shinhan looked at Ginyu. Hey, do you still want to fight me? Ginyu laughed. Of course, don't think it's great to defeat my 4 team members. Let you ignorant guys see how powerful I am. Quote. As he spoke, Ginyu struck a certain ballet pose. However, no matter how he posed, it was not harmonious. The next moment, Ginyu suddenly became angry. He said to everyone. Damn it, it's all your fault. I can't form a beautiful special battle formation by myself. Krillin, Jiaozi, ... Chichi, who was watching the game, was also speechless. They are so ugly, but they still love dancing. It's really weird. Bulma nodded. Yes, with such a passion for styling, I think Ginyu is suitable for debuting in a girl group. Ginyu squatted, looked at everyone, and said, no matter where you come from, I will never let you off. Come on, it doesn't matter whether you come one by one or together. Tien Shinhan stepped forward again and opened his starting posture, saying, I only need one person to deal with you. Ginyu supported the detector and said, you are quite confident, ha 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 ha. I, Ginyu, am the number 1 person under King Frieza. This is the first time I have heard such arrogant words in my life. Don't look at the fact that there are so many of you, and each of you is very confident. In front of a real master, the number of people will not play a big role. Let me tell you a secret. In fact, I am also one of those people whose combat power can change freely. Quote. Hearing this, Vegeta was obviously stunned for a moment. Ginyu's strength is indeed the best under Frieza. But he has not heard how strong he is. Moreover, Vegeta before did not know anything about the Ginyu Force. At his previous level, he could not even touch them. The battle between the two quickly began. Ginyu shouted, and his aura suddenly surged. The next moment, he swung out with one hand, and a purple gas bomb was thrown towards Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan's figure flashed, dodged the gas bomb, and flew into the sky. However, Ginyu flashed into the sky at this moment, and kicked directly at Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan almost didn't react. Fortunately, he didn't let his guard down. Although he was thinking about what to do next when he dodged the gas bullet. He still found the sneak attack at the critical moment and dodged the kick in a very dangerous situation. Krillin and others who were watching the battle also watched the two fight. Krillin couldn't help but say in surprise, this Ginyu's combat power should be over 100,000. Yamcha nodded. Yeah, it's finally a little interesting. Ginyu was more and more surprised in the fierce battle. This man's strength is unfathomable. He has already improved to the strongest combat power. But this guy is still at ease. As the round ended, Ginyu and Tien Shinhan pulled away. He asked excitedly. You haven't exerted your true strength, right? Tien Shinhan was stunned. You figured it out. Ginyu smiled and said. Of course. You want to use the accumulated power to deal with King Frieza, right? Haha, I advise you not to dream. I still say that you can't guess the strength of the king. It's so hard to meet an opponent like you. Come and fight me with all your strength. Tien Shinhan looked serious. All your strength. It seems that you didn't use your full strength. Okay, then I understand. Ginyu smiled. That's great, otherwise you will die unjustly. Tien Shinhan said seriously. Use your detector to take a good look at my energy value. Don't be scared. Advertisement. As he said, Tien Shinhan shouted, and the powerful information suddenly soared. Ginyu's detector value also jumped up. 100,000. 100,000. 150,000. How is it possible? It's still rising. Ginyu's eyes showed a look of fear and surprise. Not far away, Goku, Chichi and Bulma were all watching leisurely. When Bulma saw Ginyu, she suddenly remembered his powerful ability exchanging bodies. Although the strength of all the members is very strong now, it doesn't matter if one of them is replaced by him. However, whoever has his body replaced will inevitably be beaten up. She wanted to ask Tien Shinhan to end the fight quickly. But she didn't know how to start, so she could only worry about Tien Shinhan. May the best of luck to you. Just as Ginyu read the value of 200,000, Tien Shinhan shouted. Kaioken. Instantly, Tien Shinhan's fighting power surged again. 200,000. 400,000. Bang. Even if his detector had a high upper limit, it would inevitably explode at this moment. Affected by the aftermath of the explosion of the detector. Ginyu was even more surprised. It was too strong. He couldn't wait any longer. Such fighting power was too powerful. Can't wait any longer. Ginyu first dug a hole in his chest. And then fired a mouth cannon at Tien Shinhan. Change body. A strong light suddenly blasted towards Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan's figure flashed and dodged this move. His breath stabilized, and he looked at Ginyu calmly. I have increased my power to the extreme, and also opened up twice the Kaioken. My speed is no longer at the level that you can attack by sneaking. Show your true strength. However, at this moment, Ginyu's body was confused. Huh, why am I here? Isn't I watching the competition? Shish, it hurts. Ginyu's hand covered his still bleeding chest. Is this my body? Ginyu's body looked around at itself. Tien Shinhan was also a little confused as he watched Ginyu's body checking itself. What's going on? What happened? Why did you hurt yourself? Tien Shinhan asked. Just then, Vegeta understood. He immediately pointed his finger up at Krillin and shouted. Oh no, Ginyu's ability is to exchange bodies. His body exchange with Tien Shinhan was avoided, and now he has exchanged bodies with Krillin. What? Everyone who heard this was shocked, and then they all looked at Krillin. At this moment, Krillin's body also moved, and then he made a few graceful ballet-like poses. Everyone who saw this scene finally believed it. At this moment, Krillin, who was using Ginyu's body, showed an evil smile on his face. It was actually dodged, and a smaller person replaced it. But fortunately, I can feel that this body is also very powerful. At least it is stronger than my original body. Quote. Yamcha, Jiaozi, all retreated, a little further away from Krillin's body. Jiaozi panicked and said. Oh no, Krillin is our strongest earthling. Yamcha was also surprised and didn't know what to say. Ginyu, who had changed into Krillin, was obviously surprised when he heard Jiaozi's words. He pointed at himself and asked. Is this body the strongest earthling? ... Yamcha was stunned for a moment. Goku is a Saiyan, so Krillin is indeed the strongest earthling. So he nodded. Yes, yes. Ginyu, who had changed into Krillin, suddenly laughed. Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect that I hit the mark by accident and changed into the strongest. At this moment, Ginyu, who had changed into Krillin, saw Vegeta, who was not far away, and a smirk appeared on the corner of his mouth. The next moment, Ginyu, who had changed into Krillin, flashed and punched Vegeta directly. Vegeta was caught off guard by his sneak attack, and he screamed, his body shot towards the mountain like a meteor, causing a violent explosion. Ginyu, who had changed into Krillin, felt this powerful force, looked at his fist excitedly, and roared to the sky again. Ha 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 ha, I actually got the strongest body, the heavens really helped me. At this moment, Krillin, who had changed into Ginyu, completely understood. His face was full of disappointment, even despair. Oh no, this shouldn't have happened. My attention was just on Tien Shinhan, I was too relaxed. I changed with this body, what should I do? Krillin, who changed into Ginyu, couldn't help looking around and begging his friends for help. Bulma saw that Krillin had been replaced by Ginyu, and just now he was doing those eye-catching actions, and his mouth twitched a little. Krillin, who changed into Ginyu, took the senzu beans and ate them. Son Goku looked him up and down. Even if he changed his body, seeing that he was seriously injured. Goku, if Shinjuo sees me like this, I'm afraid something terrible will happen. And asked. Goku, what do you think? Goku was the first to go over to give him the senzu beans. But it seems that Goku and Krillin have a very good relationship. Said. Krillin, I think the body you changed into is not bad, at least it is tall, and the fighting talent is not lower than yours. The upper limit is also higher, and it will become stronger faster through training, and it will soon catch up with your current strength. Krillin, who changed into Ginyu, twitched his mouth. Goku, don't joke, this body is clearly a monster. I still like my own body. Quote. After saying that, Krillin, who changed into Ginyu, looked at his own body and shouted, Hey, you guy, give my body back quickly. Ginyu Krillin's body pointed his thumb at himself. He laughed loudly. Hee, this body, although not tall, is very strong. It seems to be a little shorter than King Frieza, which is really perfect. I guess King Frieza also likes such subordinates. I won't give it back. Ginyu Krillin's body glanced at everyone and said, Just now I thought I had a sure win. I didn't expect that I was the only one left in my Ginyu Special Forces. I finally found that your strength was beyond my imagination. Just now there was a moment, I thought I was not the opponent of so many strong people like you, I might as well leave you to King Frieza to deal with. However, now the situation has reversed. I got the strongest body, so. Ginyu Krillin's body suddenly rushed to the side of Jiaozi and Yamcha. Both of them were ready to fight back. Unexpectedly, Ginyu picked up a Dragon Ball, and then shot it towards Frieza's square. Everyone was shocked. He ran away. Bulma watched Krillin's body fly away and Vegeta was laughing wildly there. However, the body is still the same body, and Lin is still frowning. She didn't want Goku to go over. Son Goku asked with concern, Krillin, how are you? Bulma looked forward and saw Goku bursting towards Krillin who had changed into Ginyu. Bulma was a little speechless when she saw this scene. It seems that the injury is not serious, but don't worry about that for now, eat it. How is it possible? How can you be faster than me? Tien Shinhan with Kaioken turned into a stream of light and directly stopped Ginyu holding the Dragon Ball. However, Goku didn't answer. Can he run away? Bulma felt a gust of wind blowing around her, and Goku disappeared. I didn't expect to see Krillin doing that kind of dance so soon, I'm really not used to it. Ginyu Krillin's body was surprised. As long as Goku's body is not changed, it doesn't matter to others. Krillin Ginyu's body immediately shouted. Goku, help me quickly and get my body back. Son Goku immediately handed him a senzu bean. It's over, Goku, I changed that guy's body, what can I do? Okay. The injury recovered in an instant. In fact, no one cares, after all, Ginyu can't Kaioken. Fighting the Ginyu Force is just a warm-up. Son Goku nodded. You said so many harsh words, but you ran away just because you didn't agree with me. However, Son Goku didn't rush out yet. Krillin, who was using Ginyu's body, was still covering his chest. There is a little risk, which is Ginyu's ability to change bodies. Chapter 116 The Great Elder's Potential Stimulation. Being intercepted by Tien Shinhan, Ginyu Krillin's body was furious. He suddenly opened his mouth and shot a ki blast at Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan crossed his hands and concentrated his aura. The ki blast bounced back the moment it hit Tien Shinhan. Ginyu Krillin's body was startled and wanted to dodge, but found that the speed was too fast and it was too late. He had to withstand his own attack. However, the energy hit his body like a breeze, without any damage, and the energy wave dissipated directly. Ginyu Krillin's body blinked his big eyes. What? Is this really the power of the strongest earthling? How can it be so weak? Tien Shinhan raised the corners of his mouth high. Yes, Krillin is indeed the strongest among the people on Earth. But you are not adapted to his body. And you can't exert his power at all. So, quickly switch back with Krillin. Ginyu didn't believe it and said angrily, Stop talking nonsense to me. How can you guess my ability? I can withstand that kind of damage without any effect, which means that this body is not very strong. As he said, Ginyu Krillin's body put down the Dragon Ball and punched Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan quickly blocked it. After all, Krillin's body is very strong. Even if he is not adapted, his attack is very fierce. In addition, Tien Shinhan didn't want to damage Krillin's body, so he had to fight with him. The battle between the two seemed very fierce. But Tien Shinhan held back his strength everywhere, and didn't seriously injure Krillin's body. But Ginyu Krillin's body didn't have that concern at all. Using all his strength to release his power crazily. As the battle continued, Ginyu Krillin's body became stronger and stronger, and Tien Shinhan consumed more and more energy to deal with it. Tien Shinhan couldn't help but look solemn. Oh no, he is getting better and better at adapting to Krillin's body. Ginyu Krillin's body realized that he was adapting to this body at a rapid speed, and he was also very excited. Strong power, and beautiful body, I Ginyu will get it completely, so happy. In the future, when I form the Ginyu Special Forces, my small body can finally be lifted up by everyone. Hearing Ginyu's words, Tien Shinhan couldn't help but think of his opening dance. Thinking of the dance scene of Krillin being lifted up by a group of big men, Tien Shinhan's face suddenly turned red. Not to mention seeing it, even thinking about it makes people feel uncomfortable. You can't just think about it, it's too hot for the eyes. Tien Shinhan looked at Krillin who was using Ginyu's body in the distance and shouted, "Sorry, Krillin. I have to subdue your body." Krillin nodded quickly. I didn't expect that he was not used to my body yet. And he didn't know Kaioken, so I was completely relieved. Tien Shinhan, don't let him continue to adapt. It's okay to hit harder, just don't blow my body to pieces. Tien Shinhan nodded. I understand. As he said that, Tien Shinhan shouted, raising more strength, and it was obvious that he was going to beat Ginyu Krillin's body violently. At this moment, a figure rushed over from the mountain at a high speed. It hit Ginyu Krillin's body directly, and directly knocked him dozens of meters away before stopping. Tien Shinhan was stunned for a moment. He saw the figure clearly. Vegeta. Others also looked at Vegeta. Krillin, Ginyu's body, scratched his head and asked, where did he come from? Yamcha explained. Just now, after he switched bodies with you, Vegeta was too close. Your body immediately punched Vegeta, and he hit the mountain. Krillin, Ginyu's body, nodded. I see. In fact, I can't use the power of this body. Besides, I don't want to adapt, I just want to return it quickly. Son Goku patted Krillin on the shoulder and said, don't worry, if he doesn't want to trade with you. If you have a chance to find a Dragon Ball, I, Shenron, will make a wish to help you get it back. I can also change it for you with a 5 centimeter higher one. Krillin, Ginyu's body, looked at Son Goku excitedly. Hey, this is a good idea, but it's a waste of a wish. It's okay. Anyway, we have the Dragon Ball radar, and my Dragon Ball is very easy for us. Krillin finally nodded with relief. You are still the most considerate, Goku. After being knocked back dozens of meters, Ginyu Krillin's body stopped retreating forcibly. He turned his head and looked at Vegeta, with a smile on his face. Hey, it's Vegeta, what are you doing here to make trouble? Do you want to be beaten by me? Vegeta looked at Krillin's body and snorted. Ginyu, you B asterisk 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 D, you P asterisk 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 D me off. Why did you attack me after changing your body? You think I'm the weakest among this group of people, you look down on me, right? Ginyu Krillin's body raised his eyebrows. I don't think it's a big deal. To be honest, I have never looked down on you Saiyans. Vegeta said angrily. Damn it, you insulted us Saiyans, I'll make you pay. Tien Shinhan saw Vegeta's angry face and said, Vegeta, I'll give him to you. But please be careful not to damage Krillin's body. Quote. Vegeta's mouth curled up slightly. He didn't have so many scruples. The reason why he came to fight with Ginyu was because Ginyu looked down on him and attacked him just now. He wanted to fight back. On the other hand, he was worried that these soft-hearted earthlings would be reluctant to take action and make mistakes. The next moment, Vegeta attacked Ginyu Krillin's body. The powerful fist did not hold back at all, and hit Ginyu's abdomen. Ginyu, who did not control Krillin's body, met Vegeta who had just recovered from a serious injury. He did not dodge for a while and took the blow hard. At the moment when Ginyu groaned, Vegeta's next move followed. He also swept his leg and hit Ginyu in the face. And then his figure flashed. And he came behind Ginyu and kicked him hard at the vulnerable part of his lower back. Crack, crack. Ginyu's Krillin's body, waist was broken at this moment. Seeing that his body seemed to be broken, Soren hurriedly dissuaded him. Hey, Vegeta, don't use such a heavy hand on my body. Vegeta didn't care about that. With such strength, he couldn't be killed easily. Without serious external injuries, it was impossible to kill him. In order to prevent him from changing bodies again, Vegeta shot down Ginyu and directly condensed an energy bomb to kill him completely. However, Ginyu at this moment was not afraid, but showed a cruel smile. Change body. At the moment when Vegeta condensed the energy bomb, a beam of light burst towards Vegeta. Vegeta was horrified. He didn't expect that the opponent's ability didn't even need to charge, it was instantaneous, and the speed was so fast. At this critical moment, Ginyu's original body suddenly shot out and blocked the beam of body change. Ginyu below was horrified. Get out of the way. However, everything was in vain. This beam of light just changed him and Krillin back. Krillin, lying on the ground, felt the pain all over his body, and his forehead was sweating. But he couldn't stop smiling. Great, I finally got it back, I still like my own body. At this moment, Ginyu, who had finished changing his body, was distracted for a moment. He immediately scanned the other people on the field. The distance was not far, so he could change anyone at random. Just when he was about to start the body change again, the omen of death came from the sky. Ginyu, go to hell. Ginyu was startled and immediately looked up. Only to see Vegeta's energy ball had condensed into a radius of several meters, and the destructive energy was crushing towards him with a hint of lightning. In an instant, he was completely submerged. Others watching the battle could not help but sigh at Vegeta's cruel methods. He was cruel to others, but even crueler to himself. He almost got swapped just now, but he didn't interrupt the charging. Advertisement. If the swap was successful and the energy bomb was sent out, then his body and Krillin's body would disappear at the same time. Boom. With a burst of explosions, Ginyu's aura was blown up by the energy bomb. His body turned into scattered pieces of meat, and the land was dyed scarlet. Son Goku was about to feed Krillin senzu beans, but Den had already run over. He released healing rays with both hands, and Krillin was healed in just 2 breaths. Krillin couldn't help but be surprised. Wow, Den, your ability is not inferior to senzu beans, it's amazing. Den said shyly. Don't say that. You saved the people on our planet and fought with them. I'm already embarrassed. Now, I can help you with treatment. I can finally help a little. Seeing that the enemies were eliminated, Bulma and Chichi also came over. Bulma looked at everyone and said, hey, we have wasted a lot of time. Now it's time to find the Elder to collect the last Dragon Ball, and then it's time to fight Frieza. Everyone nodded. Then he took 6 Dragon Balls and rushed straight to the village where the Elder was. A moment later, everyone came to the village where the Elder was. On a high mountain, a house like an insect stood on the top of the mountain. That was the residence of the Elder. After everyone landed, a young Namekian walked out of the house. Dend immediately smiled. It's Naru. The enemy didn't attack this village, and you are all safe and sound, it's great. Naru glanced at everyone, and then set his eyes on Dend. You came at the right time, Dend. The Elder already knows what happened on the planet in the past few days. Dend was stunned for a moment. The Elder knows everything. Naru nodded. Dend asked again. Then why don't you hide? Naru said. The Elder is old and it is not suitable for him to move anymore, so I stayed here to protect him. Dend nodded. I understand. Everyone on Earth looked at Naru, and couldn't help but be slightly absent-minded. Too similar. He is exactly the same as Bike. Quote. Bulma suddenly remembered that Piccolo came to Namek and assimilated with Naru, and then barely kept up with Goku. Now, Naru doesn't seem to be seriously injured. Is Piccolo disabled? Thinking of this, Bulma shook her head. It's better for Piccolo not to fight. It's better for him to stay in the Temple of Heaven than to fight. If he dies, it will be very troublesome. Naru continued. Everyone, please come in, the Elder is waiting for you. Everyone entered the Elder's house. A fat, very old Namek man sat on a chair, squinting at everyone. Welcome, welcome, you are all from Earth, right? First of all, thank you for saving my children. Quote. Vegeta was stunned. Your children? How do you know that your children are among the people we rescued? The Elder nodded. Yes, of course I know. Because everyone on Namek is my child. What? Everyone on Namek is your child? Except for Goku and Bulma, everyone was greatly surprised. Dend explained to everyone the process of the Great Elder giving birth, and everyone was amazed. Everyone was amazed at the wonderfulness of this world. Krillin stepped forward and said, Great Elder, can you give us the last Dragon Ball? We also have Dragon Balls on Earth, but the person who made Dragon Balls was killed. We need to revive him to restore the Dragon Balls on Earth. Quote. The Great Elder asked curiously, What, there are Dragon Balls on Earth? Are there Namekians there too? Krillin nodded. So you only know what happened on Namek. You don't know the gods of the Earth we are talking about, are Piccolo. A long time ago, when this planet encountered a natural disaster, he took a spaceship to our Earth. The Elder suddenly realized. I remember, it was Kadaz's child. It's really surprising that he managed to reach Earth safely. That child is indeed a genius. Not only can he make Dragon Ball, but he can also give birth. I guess there are many Namekians on Earth, right? Krillin was stunned. No, he can't have children. Bulma immediately stepped forward. In order to become a god, that person must not have any evil thoughts, so he was separated into 2 people, and the ability to reproduce was given to the other half of the evil clone. That clone was called Piccolo. However, that clone was evil in nature and constantly used force to bring disasters to the Earth. It was sealed by the martial artist for more than 300 years. Not long ago, Piccolo made a comeback, but he was already old. The children he gave birth to were all freaks who helped him do bad things. Later, he was killed by turtles. Quote. Bulma's little mouth told Piccolo's story. But Bulma thought the Elder should sigh. As a result, the Elder said. You speak too fast, I'm old, my brain can't keep up. Everyone. Not only did everyone freeze for a moment, but even Bulma was choked at the time. So what she said was in vain. The Elder smiled kindly and looked at everyone. Said, Earthlings, can you 0.0 come over for a while? Bulma was immediately surprised and said, Krillin, go quickly. The Elder is going to help you stimulate your potential. Krillin walked over immediately. Others also looked at the Elder excitedly. The Elder put his hand on Krillin's head. After a while, the Elder sighed. In order to become a god, you need to abandon evil and become 2 people. How stupid, a rare talent is divided into 2 halves. If he is still there, if the 2 people merge into one, they will be very strong if they practice well. No one on Earth should be able to kill him. Quote. Bulma immediately said, Great Elder, you don't need to persuade us on this matter. Those 2 guys have different personalities, and it is harder than climbing to the sky to get them to merge now. Don't worry about him for the time being. Now Frieza's men have been dealt with by us. In order to prevent him from coming, please help the rest of us improve our strength first. We are here to fight Frieza. Quote. The elder nodded. Yes. As he spoke, the elder touched Krillin's head, and a guiding force spread through Krillin's body. Instantly, Krillin's aura surged at an extremely fast speed. Everyone around was shocked. Krillin's aura was unprecedentedly high. His combat power increased by at least several times. When Bulma saw this scene, she immediately took out the detector and put it on. Beep beep. The detector started to work violently at this moment. Seeing the final number, Bulma was also shocked. Oh my god, Krillin's combat power has reached more than 2 million. When everyone heard this number, they were also shocked. 2 million. Tien Shinhan took a breath. It's too scary. If Kaioken is activated, wouldn't it be tens of millions? More. How much? Chapter 117 Super Saiyan Transformation. Everyone could intuitively feel Krillin's powerful aura, so they naturally asked about it. Krillin, how do you feel? Krillin was shaking with excitement. Great, my skills have become stronger. It's hard to believe, it's like I've been reborn. Bulma said in surprise. Quick, quick, Goku should hurry over. Hurry up, everyone should stimulate their potential. Chichi saw the old appearance of the elder and said with some concern. The elder's use of power like this will not affect your lifespan, right? Let's make a wish first, and then see if we can improve our strength. The elder shook his head. No, I didn't waste any energy. That's your own potential, I just helped guide it out, it won't affect my lifespan. Come on, those who want to guide their potential come here, the more people who uphold justice, the better. Vegeta was originally very disdainful of this kind of external force enhancement. However, seeing the elder's potential stimulation, Krillin, who was already very powerful, suddenly increased several times. It was so terrifying. He had previously used Saiyan's talent to recover from a near-death injury, but at most he could only improve his merit by 30%. But the Great Elder's potential stimulation could increase a person's strength several times at once, which was unheard of. He couldn't help but move forward. The Great Elder was like a ruthless guiding machine, helping Krillin to guide his potential. And successively helped Tien Shinhan, Chichi Yamcha and others to stimulate their potential. Everyone has different talents, and the time of practice is different, so the results are different. But they are not much different from Krillin. Chichi and Tien Shinhan have both broken through the 2 million mark. Even Jiaozi has broken through the 1 million mark. Just as Son Goku was about to step forward, Vegeta took the lead and came to the Great Elder's seat. Just as Vegeta was waiting for the Great Elder to stimulate his potential. The Great Elder touched his head, but the action stopped. There was no response for a long time. Vegeta was stunned. He looked up and asked, hurry up. Are you still touching my head? Could it be that my potential is too big and the guidance is slow? Vegeta thought secretly. Who knows? The elder shook his head. I saw a tail behind you, you should not be from Earth. Vegeta said proudly. That's right, how could I be from Earth? I am the most powerful fighting race in the universe, Saiyan. The elder suddenly realized. So that's it, you are Saiyan. The elder withdrew his hand and continued. The Saiyan is a brutal race. Since joining Frieza's army, they have been slaughtering planets. Not only that, I can't feel a trace of justice from you. So, go. In order to prevent you from doing bad things, I will not stimulate your potential for you. Vegeta was shocked. What? Naru stepped forward and explained. The elder only stimulates the potential of those who are just, you don't deserve the elder's guidance. The next moment, Vegeta reacted. Vegeta is very self-aware. He knew from the beginning that he was not a good person. His hands were stained with innocent blood. In order to occupy the planet, he had killed countless people. He came to Earth and did not kill anyone. One reason was that he had a little tentative deal with Goku and the others. The second reason was that he was far from being able to defeat them. Otherwise, if the Earth was an ordinary planet with no other value, he would slaughter all the people on Earth without hesitation and sell the planet. If he died, he would definitely go to hell. If there was reincarnation, he would never be reborn. Others were stronger than him and had received such a powerful potential stimulation. Vegeta also wanted to. However, because his resume was all about killing, he could not get the guidance of the Great Elder. Vegeta was a little disappointed, but not much. He had expected this result. At this time, Yinmin Lao looked at Son Goku. Young man, come here. Son Goku thought for a moment and said, Grand Elder, I want to ask you for a favor. What? Son Goku asked. We are about to fight Frieza. One more fighting force means one more hope. So, can you help Vegeta stimulate his potential? Bulma saw Goku pleading for him, and also helped, saying, yes, Grand Elder, please help. After killing Frieza, I believe Vegeta will not kill people indiscriminately in the future. Vegeta was stunned for a moment, and then angrily said, hey, Kakarot, you two don't need to mind your own business. I, Vegeta, never expect charity from others. Huh. As he said that, Vegeta clenched his fists and said, we Saiyans have endless potential. But I still have to get my own strength. You go and stimulate the potential. And I will become a Super Saiyan sooner or later, surpassing all of you. Son Goku and Bulma looked at each other, both speechless. You don't give others any chance to step aside. Who would care about you with such a proud attitude? Krillin immediately advised. Goku, don't worry about him, just go. Chichi nodded and said, yeah, Goku, why do you care about him? The potential stimulation also depends on the foundation and the degree of practice. Vegeta has only practiced for a few days, and his combat power is still so low now. Even if he stimulates his potential, with his current strength, he can't improve much. In my opinion, whether he stimulates his potential or not, he can't help Frieza at all. You go quickly, the decisive battle will start soon. Hearing this, Vegeta's mouth twitched again. He glanced at Chichi, and then couldn't help cursing Chichi 100 times from the bottom of his heart. Damn, this B asterisk 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 D. You actually said that I am the weakest and can't help even if I stimulate my potential. I am really angry. If I had a gravity bracelet and a gravity room, you wouldn't even be qualified to carry my shoes. Isn't it just potential stimulation? I don't care about that. In the future, after I work hard to become a Super Saiyan, I will let you see what real power is, and I will trample you guys under my feet. Just when Vegeta was thinking in his heart that he should not bully the poor young man, the elder sighed and waved to Vegeta. Vegeta, come here. Vegeta wanted to be tough and arrogant, but advertisement. His legs had their own ideas and actually walked towards the big ball table. The next moment, the elder put his hand on Vegeta's head again. In an instant, Vegeta's breath began to surge with a terrifying momentum. Vegeta, who was still immersed in some embarrassing emotions, suddenly got up with his eyes wide open. Strong, worthy of potential stimulation, it's really strong. Feeling Vegeta's strength surge, the others were also amazed. Jowsy. Wow, Vegeta has such a strong aura, so amazing. He has grown to this point all of a sudden, his potential is too outrageous, right? Krillin said in disbelief. Chichi took Bulma's detector and put it on, pressed the switch, and then read the number. Exclaimed. 1,350,000. Wow, so much. Vegeta's combat power was only 18,000 a few days ago. I didn't expect it to break 1 million so quickly, what a genius. Yamcha, Tien Shinhan were also amazed. Tianjin said. It's really not easy. It seems that he caught up with the results of our more than 10 years of practice in just 1 month. Yamcha swallowed his saliva and said, I'm jealous. Genius is something that we mortals can't compare to. I didn't expect that with just one potential stimulation. He almost equaled our skills that we practiced for more than 10 years. I was in a good mood just now, but now I'm not happy at all. Son Goku looked at everyone praising Vegeta, and seemed to be envious and jealous. He also looked at Vegeta, wanting to praise him politely. However, at this moment, he found that although Vegeta was arrogant on the surface, he was very happy with these words. Originally, Vegeta had experienced several battles on this planet and experienced twists and turns. Vegeta, who had a combat power of about 100,000, suddenly had a combat power that soared to 1 million. Naturally, he was very happy all of a sudden. He even glanced at the earthlings around him, with a hint of disdain in his eyes. If hard work is useful, what's the point of genius? And I, Vegeta, am a rare genius. It only takes 1 month to surpass your decades of hard work. Seeing Vegeta's huge improvement, Chichi immediately said, Goku, hurry up, I'm actually looking forward to your improvement. Son Goku nodded and walked towards the elder. A mysterious force poured into Son Goku's body. In an instant, he sensed that his countless bottlenecks burst in an instant. And his breath also exploded uncontrollably. At this moment, he was actually unable to control these violent breaths. In his body, in his blood, power was constantly gushing out. A powerful breath suddenly burst out from him, causing a gust of wind. Naru was shocked and immediately stood in front of the elder to block the wind for him. Others were also surprised and crossed their arms to block the gust of wind brought by his burst of breath. Bulma had no martial arts skills and was almost blown away. Luckily, Chichi was right beside her and held him back. However, no one complained about Goku making such a big noise, but instead looked at him in surprise. His reload was like opening the Kaioken, and his aura surged uncontrollably. Moreover, the amplitude was even greater, causing the surrounding airflow to almost become a hurricane. Chichi pulled Bulma and immediately pressed the detector that he had just taken from Bulma. Great Chichi, let me see how strong Goku can be after his potential is stimulated. The next moment, the chat detector of Shenxian rang. Chichi was very surprised. Great, Goku's combat power has reached 6 million. Everyone was shocked again. Oh my god, I said that Goku's potential would be higher, I didn't expect him to reach 6 million. Bulma took a breath. With this combat power, if 20 times Kaioken is activated, it will be 120 million. She suddenly realized that Goku could defeat Frieza even if he didn't transform into a Super Saiyan. What's more, there are helpers from Earth such as Krillin and Tianjin. Compared to the previous life, they are all very strong. Thinking of this, Bu couldn't help but smile. This time the battle of Namek is stable. Vegeta heard Son Goku's combat power and felt his strong breath, and couldn't help clenching his fists. Damn it, this guy Kakarot has improved so much more than me. However, the next second, Vegeta's hand loosened again. Humph, he is just a low-level warrior, but he can reach this level. If my son King Vegeta had gone through the training like him, he would be 100 times stronger than him now. Vegeta comforted himself. However, it should have ended. But Son Goku's breath burst did not stop. He was standing there, hiding from the breath burst all over his body. In order to prevent the danger of the elder, Naru had already moved the elder to a farther place with the chair. The others also stepped back a distance and looked at Goku. Goku, what's wrong with you? Quickly lower your breath. Suddenly, Goku, who was standing there, seemed to have mastered something. Or something in his heart was figured out. He was shocked, and his whole back seemed to tighten in an instant. Under the eyes of everyone, a touch of golden breath suddenly spread from his back. And ignited all the breath on Goku's body at once. In an instant, his breath turned golden. His originally black hair also turned golden at this moment, and his pupils turned green. Everyone was shocked. Goku, who had a calm expression, now had fighting spirit, excitement, and even arrogance in his eyes. The inexplicably raised corners of his mouth were something that no one had ever seen on him. Vegeta saw that Son Goku had changed, and immediately asked, Kakarot, what happened? Chichi swallowed suddenly. What happened? It was only 6 million just now. But now Goku's fighting power has exceeded 200 million. What? 200 million? Everyone was shocked. Goku's combat power exceeds 200 million. How did he do that? Is there something wrong with this detector? Chichi blinked and said, that's right. Before this machine was modified, it could explode with a combat power of tens of thousands. Even if it was strengthened by Bulma, it is impossible to measure a combat power of more than 200 million. Goku's aura is still rising, and it is almost close to 300 million. While speaking, the detector worn by Chichi exploded with a bang. Chichi was startled and quickly threw the detector away. Krillin looked around and then looked at Goku. Goku, can you hear me? How did your hair turn golden? How did you do it? Son Goku did not answer. Chichi asked weakly. Goku, can you still speak? Your eyes look good. Krillin swallowed and said. Goku will not become a monster. Only Bulma was very surprised. It worked. Don't worry, Goku has become a Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan. Vegeta's pupils shrank. How is it possible? Kakarot became a Super Saiyan. Bulma nodded. Yes. Vegeta suddenly said angrily. Impossible. If anyone can become a Super Saiyan, it should be me, not Kakarot, a low-level warrior. Chapter 118 Summoning Kurunga, Piccolo resurrected. Even if Vegeta didn't believe it, there was nothing he could do. Because, Goku's transformation into a Super Saiyan was already an established fact. His current strength was beyond Vegeta's comprehension. Feeling his surging breath and powerful strength, Vegeta admitted that Kakarot was stronger than him at this time, and he looked at Son Goku. He wanted to know, how did Kakarot transform into a Super Saiyan? Kakarot, a lower-level warrior, could transform into a Super Saiyan. So there was no reason why he, a genius warrior, couldn't transform. At this moment, Son Goku's violent aura suddenly calmed down. However, his hair was still golden and his pupils were still green. He moved briefly and then looked at everyone. Don't worry, I'm fine. And, Bulma is right. I've transformed into a Super Saiyan. Everyone was shocked. Super Saiyan. Chichi asked curiously. Goku, why haven't I heard you talk about it? What exactly is a Super Saiyan? Krillin asked while looking at Son Goku. Goku, does transforming into a Super Saiyan mean becoming very strong? Jiaozi, Tien Shinhan and others also asked. Then, Goku looked at Vegeta. Vegeta explained. The Saiyans are a powerful fighting nation that lives on a planet full of wars and battles. Our bodies are born with strong fighting potential. According to legend, in our tribe, every 1,000 years, a legendary Super Saiyan will appear. But no one has ever seen what a Super Saiyan looks like, only the legends of our ancestors have been passed down. At this point, Vegeta looked at Kakarot again. But obviously, the legend is wrong. When Kakarot was born, he was just a lower-level war king. So, there must be a way to become a Super Saiyan, right, Kakarot? Vegeta looked at Son Goku seriously. Son Goku nodded immediately. Yes. Vegeta continued. Yes, that's it. How did you do it? Son Goku scratched his head, not knowing how to tell him for a moment. Super Saiyan has never been so sacred in Goku's heart. It's nothing more than a certain basic combat power, and a pure and calm heart will increase the S cells. As long as the two basic conditions are met, one extreme anger can transform. Seeing that Son Goku didn't seem to know how to explain, Bulma immediately stepped forward. Okay, Vegeta, don't worry about this time. Goku is probably confused about the transformation to Super Saiyan. Martial arts training and the perception of the state of mind cannot be explained overnight. We don't have much time, so let's make a wish immediately. The Dragon Ball of Namek has 3 wishes. Why don't we wait until Piccolo is resurrected and leave 1 wish for Shenron? Chichi was surprised. Wow, Bulma, you are so amazing. How did you know that the Dragon Ball of Namek has 3 wishes? Dend immediately said. I told her. Everyone was surprised. Krillin laughed and said. No wonder the Dragon Ball of Namek is so big. It turns out that it has so many powerful functions, so great. Well, if there are more wishes, can you fulfill one of my wishes? Chichi said curiously. Hey, Krillin, what wish do you want? Krillin said shyly. You know, as a world hero, my image has never been tall enough. So, I want to grow 5 centimeters taller. So that when we return to Earth, Shenron will think that I have grown taller again. Quote. After saying that, Krillin lowered his head again. Everyone was speechless. Vegeta snorted coldly. Boring wishes. Can't you think a little bolder? For example, the wish for immortality. Everyone was surprised. Hey, this idea seems very good. Yes, immortality, that should be great. Just at this moment, a basin of cold water was poured on everyone. The elder said, the ability of the Dragon Ball depends on the size of my ability. So, although the Dragon Ball of Namek is very strong, it also has limitations. This limitation means that even if someone wishes for immortality, it may only be immortality within my ability. For some powerful enemies or disasters, this immortality may not be enough to protect the wisher. In addition, although immortality can prevent the wisher from death, it may also make the wisher lose the motivation to move forward and the courage to face challenges, and life may not be better. In addition, nothing in the universe is eternal. Dragon Ball was not created to satisfy endless desires. So, I don't recommend this wish. Excessive use of Dragon Ball, especially on some powerful people, will cause the balance of the universe to be broken, and may bring unexpected bad consequences. Everyone heard the elder's long speech and clicked to buy. It seems that they also heard from the words of the elder that he was now so old and still unwilling to use Dragon Ball to restore his youth. As the elder with endless wisdom, he is more inclined to respect the natural law of birth, aging, illness and death. He is truly fearless of death. Elder, we understand. After a moment, the elder looked at Naru. Naru immediately understood. Wait a moment. Naru took the last Dragon Ball. At this time, the 7 Dragon Balls gathered together, and a faint glow was emitted from the Dragon Ball. Dend asked, have you thought of all the wishes? Can I summon the Dragon Ball to make a wish now? Bulma looked at everyone, and everyone nodded. Bulma confirmed it and said, the first wish is to make Piccolo invisible. The second wish is to ask Dragon Ball for the specific conditions of transforming into Super Saiyan. There is one wish left, that is to make Krillin grow 5 centimeters, okay. No problem. Yes, everyone agreed, but Krillin was a little embarrassed. Or, forget about this wish, I was just kidding. Because I am alone, and I wasted everyone's resources, which makes it difficult for me to do it. Chichi was stunned for a moment. No need. That means we only have one more wish. Quote. Bulma smiled. Really, Dragon Ball gives too many wishes, which is also very distressing. Since no one has a wish, why not make 2 wishes? And leave the last wish to the Namekians. Everyone nodded again. Okay. Dend and Naru were shocked when they heard that Bulma left the last wish to Namek. Naru said, thank you. However, we don't need it. We don't have any wishes. We just hope that our Namek will be peaceful. Advertisement. Dend also nodded immediately. Yes, Naru is right. We just hope that our lives can return to peace. Bulma thought about it and said, then, how about using the last wish for the eternal peace of Namek? The great elder shook his head and said, the peaceful life of Namek depends on the joint efforts of my children. Not just a wish. If humans lose the motivation to survive, the next step is to go to extinction. Such a wish is not necessary. Everyone nodded. The wisdom of the elder is indeed different from that of ordinary people, and he doesn't have so many fancy and strange ideas. However, the elder changed the subject at this moment. I didn't have any thoughts at all, just waiting to die. Unexpectedly, I heard that there are still Namek people on Earth, and suddenly I had a little idea. Since the last wish is not very important to you, why not do this? I want to meet the child who was stranded on Earth. And let him come to me after he is resurrected, okay. Want to see Piccolo? The elder nodded. Everyone did not hesitate at all. Of course. Soon, Den chanted the spell. After a Namek language, a golden light spread to the sky, and Purunga appeared brilliantly. Tell us your wishes, any original wish can be realized 3 times. Bulma immediately chanted the first wish to Dend, to revive Piccolo. Dend raised his hands high and finished chanting the spell to Purunga. Purunga immediately said in a language that everyone could understand, the wish has come true. Please tell me your second wish. Vegeta stepped forward and said, tell us all the information about Super Saiyan. Dend immediately made another wish to Purunga. Purunga said, to become the legendary Super Saiyan. Only Saiyans with mutated bodies are qualified, and they also need to practice hard to become one. But to become a Super Saiyan, it is completely possible to practice hard and use the right methods. First, you need to have enough S cells. And secondly, you need to have a strong enough body to support the Super Saiyan transformation. When both conditions are met, the key to the first transformation is extreme anger, and you can transform into a Super Saiyan. Quote. Hearing this, Vegeta's pupils shrank. He continued to ask. A strong body, as I understand it, means having enough combat power to support it. What are S cells? Purunga continued. Almost all Saiyans are born with a small amount of S cells in their bodies, but these cells are not enough for them to naturally transform into Super Saiyan. To become a Super Saiyan, the S cells in the body must accumulate to a certain number. Maintaining a stable mentality is the key to promoting the growth of S cells in the body. Therefore, the opportunity to transform into a Super Saiyan is anger. Secondly, it is to maintain a calm mentality at ordinary times to breed enough S cells. Hearing this, everyone and Vegeta suddenly realized. I see. No wonder Kakarot can transform into a Super Saiyan. He has lived in a peaceful Earth for many years, he must have a lot of S cells. In addition, the potential guided by the Great Elder can easily reach, and even far exceed the conditions for transformation. The next moment, Vegeta clenched his fists. I understand, I finally understand. Vegeta looked at Son Goku and said, Kakarot, although you are the first to transform into a Super Saiyan, But the strongest Super Saiyan in the future must be me, Vegeta. Son Goku exhaled. And faded away. I am not so easy to be surpassed by you. The elder looked at Piccolo and shouted at him. Your name is Piccolo, right? Please come over here. Said, Dend raised his hands and made a last wish to Purunga. Piccolo also looked at the elder, very kind and very kind. Hearing the last wish, Bulma immediately said, Dend. Dend nodded. The elder smiled and said, it's just that your father was disturbed by the evil thoughts of the demons, so he became like that. BWGB. B. The power in you belongs to you. You, what did you do to me? And you are not a descendant of the demons, you are a descendant of the kind Namek people. Piccolo said. No wonder there is a very kind feeling. Piccolo saw the huge Purunga in the sky and the 7 large dragon balls on the ground, and his pupils shrank suddenly. In an instant, Piccolo's power suddenly exploded. The potential given to him by the elder was also guided out. You are a genius from Namek, and you were born as a fighting Namekian by your father. But you are only half a genius, which greatly reduces your strength. If you have the chance, I hope you can merge with the gods of Earth. As long as you merge, I believe that you, a fighting Namekian, will not be weaker than Super Saiyan in the future. Even the Frieza that invaded our planet now, will not be your opponent in the perfect form. Quote, comma. Well, I understand. This is Namek, my hometown. You must never regard yourself as a demon in the future. At this time, Purunga spoke again. Bulma nodded. Piccolo, this is your hometown, Namek, the elder here wants to see you. For some reason, he unconsciously walked towards the old man in his twilight years. Bulma and everyone nodded. Everyone also felt that Piccolo's breath surged geometrically at this moment. The elder smiled and said, no, child. I just helped you guide your potential. Piccolo felt that his power had increased several times. You resurrected me and sent me here. Seeing Piccolo coming, the elder put his hand directly on Piccolo's head. Did you give me all your power? Teleport Piccolo here, teleport to the side of the great elder. As the red light in Purunga's eyes flashed, a figure suddenly appeared beside the elder. After saying these words, a strange power appeared in the elder's hand. He looked at the elder in disbelief. Piccolo was stunned. Please say the last wish. Chapter 119 Final Form Frieza. A few minutes ago, on Frieza's spaceship, Frieza sat in the stroller, waiting for the results of the Ginyu Force. However, it didn't take long for the soldiers to report the battle. It's bad, King Frieza. The detector can't detect the energy response of the Ginyu Force. And no one from the Ginyu Force responded. Frieza was startled and stood up. What did you say? The signalman said tremblingly. The Ginyu Force can't be contacted, and the energy response has disappeared. According to our inference, they have already. The signalman said here, and suddenly he didn't dare to say anything. For fear that Frieza would blow him up. Frieza's pupils shrank. You mean, they were killed? The signalman lowered his head and thought for a while, then said, no, it's impossible. The Ginyu Force is the strongest team in the universe. The only one who is stronger than them is you, King Frieza. Frieza slapped the armrest of the stroller and clenched his fist tightly. After a moment, his expression relaxed again. Although it is a little unbelievable. But your inference is not unreasonable. The disappearance of their energy reaction proves that. There are people in this world who can defeat the Ginyu Force. Just at this moment, the originally bright sky suddenly darkened. Frieza looked up at the sky through the glass. Oh, it's going to get dark. Suddenly, when he said this, the communication soldier on the ground was stunned. That's not right, King Liza. What's wrong? Frieza asked back. The communication soldier answered in detail. Your Majesty, according to the information we have. Namek has 3 sons, and it won't get dark. Frieza was also stunned. Yes, Namek won't get dark, I almost forgot. However, looking at the dark sky, Lisha frowned. But the sky is obviously dark, what's going on? The pupils of the communication soldier on the ground shrank. Your Majesty, I have seen the mythology books of Namek. Could it be that Shenron of Namek has been born? What? Shenron has been born? Damn it, who on earth actually snatched my Dragon Ball in advance? Frieza was furious. He immediately flew high into the sky at 030 and looked into the distance. Is that the direction where the Ginyu Force disappeared last? The signalman responded immediately. Yes, Your Majesty. Just as Frieza was about to leave, the signalman's detector suddenly beeped. Your Majesty, there is a strong energy reaction in that direction. Wait a minute, I will try to see how strong he is. As he said that, the signalman pressed the detector. However, as soon as the detector was turned on, it exploded directly. The signalman was startled and said in surprise, how is this possible? The detector can explode directly from such a distance. This combat power is too strong. Frieza's pupils shrank again when he saw this scene, and he could no longer remain calm. It shot directly in the direction of the energy reaction, even leaving the baby carriage behind. After the wish was fulfilled, the Great Elder handed over the position of the Great Elder of Namek to Murray. And he passed on the Dragon Ball. In this way, the Dragon Ball of Namek would not disappear. Bulma knew that it was not safe on Namek. Because Frieza was a special existence, he could survive in the universe. So when he couldn't beat him, he could just blow up the planet. And others, even if they were much stronger than him, would not dare to destroy the planet instantly. That would be no different from self-destruction. In order to allow Goku to fight safely, Bulma took out the universe ship. She drove the universe ship and flew into space. In order to keep the Dragon Ball and leave a backup for everyone, she wanted to take Piccolo to hide in space. But Piccolo was warlike, he wanted to participate in the battle with Frieza, and did not agree to hide. So, Bulma brought the new Great Elder of Namek, Murray, to the spaceship. Bulma was thankful that Elder Murray was not a warrior. Soon, she called the god. Hello, God, have you finished what I told you to do? God. Mr. Popo has collected all the Dragon Balls, and you can make a wish at any time. Bulma breathed a sigh of relief. Bulma. Very good, let's do this for now, and be sure to wait for my news at any time. Bike has also come to Namek. You can directly ask Shenron to teleport everyone except me, Son Goku and Frieza back to Earth. Don't hesitate, Tenjin. Except you, Son Goku and Frieza. What about you? Bulma. Frieza must be defeated, otherwise he will chase to Earth, so Goku can't leave. I stayed just in case. If Frieza destroys the planet, it will cause great trouble. So, I drove the universe ship and stayed in the universe space not far from Namek. If you want to pick Goku up, I will land at any time. If you are too late, you can only rely on your Dragon Ball, please. Bulma didn't say another sentence, in case Piccolo unfortunately died in the battle. In another 4 months, the Dragon Ball on Namek will also be restored and chase Murray to Earth. In short, with such a plan, hope will never be cut off. God. With your arrangement, I am also very relieved. I believe everyone will come back safely. Thank you for your hard work. Bulma. I can fight side by side with everyone in my own way. It's not hard at all. That's fine. I'm hanging up. Bye, God. Goodbye. Bulma hung up the phone and turned on a monitor. In my previous life, everyone was busy fighting and no one cared about me. I didn't even see the final battle between Goku and Frieza. This time, I can finally watch the battle, and I can watch the battle in space. There is no danger at all. It's great. After saying that, Bulma controlled the detector and began to track. On Namek, Frieza flew in the direction of Goku and the others. Suddenly, a group of people blocked Frieza. Frieza stopped immediately. He didn't know the others, but only recognized Vegeta. Frieza stared at Vegeta, and the strong fire in his eyes seemed to burn Vegeta to ashes. However, instead of getting angry, he laughed. Oh, Vegeta, you are such a traitor, you damn monkey. I was right, this matter is indeed related to you. After betraying me, you even brought others to disturb my dream of immortality. You are damned. While speaking, Frieza pointed his finger at Vegeta. A red energy instantly shot towards Vegeta. However, Vegeta's mouth corners slightly raised. Advertisement. He just raised his hand casually and sent the energy bomb flying. Frieza's pupils shrank. How is it possible? Vegeta sneered. Nothing is impossible, Frieza. Your era is about to end. We Saiyans will be the overlords of the universe. After Frieza realized Vegeta's strength, he finally understood, and a trace of realization appeared on his face. He put his fist on the corner of his mouth and smiled elegantly. Oh, hoo, I'm dying of laughter. You stinky monkeys want to be the overlord of the universe. It's just a foolish dream. However, Vegeta, your strength is beyond my expectation. Although I don't know how you did it. But it seems that BDAB, 5 people from the Ginyu Force were indeed killed by you. The next moment, Frieza's face changed immediately. He clenched his fists and shouted at several people, you bastards actually broke my plan. I will never forgive you, I will cut you into pieces. Vegeta stepped forward and said with a smile, Frieza, if you don't show your strength quickly, don't blame me for being rude. You probably don't know yet. The Super Saiyan you were most afraid of has appeared. You're going to die. Frieza's eyes were solemn for a second. Super Saiyan. The next moment, Frieza burst into laughter. Oh, Vegeta, you are really joking, how can there be such a thing? Don't think that you can defeat Frieza just because you can defeat the Ginyu Force. You stinky monkeys can never imagine my height in your lifetime. Frieza roared. His aura rose in an instant. The ground under his feet also shook violently with the expansion of his aura. Frieza sneered. In my eyes, you are just a group of ants. Do you think you can defeat the dinosaurs? Vegeta said arrogantly. We can definitely defeat you. But, in fact, I don't want you to die now. Quote. Frieza was stunned. Hey, you don't want me to die, what do you mean? Vegeta, do you still want to be loyal to me? Everyone was stunned when they heard this. No one understood what Vegeta meant. But it doesn't matter, he wants to rebel, but he is just a grasshopper, and he can't make any waves. Fortunately, Vegeta immediately gave an explanation. Vegeta sneered. Wrong, I just don't want you to die at the hands of others. Since I was a child, I have been forced to let you drive and oppress me. Being a Saiyan prince is my greatest humiliation. So, in this world, no one hates you more than me. The reason why I don't want you to die now is that I just want to send you to hell personally after I become a Super Saiyan. Frieza sneered. You are so boastful. What Super Saiyan? It's just a foolish dream. As he spoke, Frieza suddenly jumped up and punched Vegeta. Vegeta grabbed Frieza's wrist with his backhand. Then, Vegeta punched Frieza's abdomen hard. Frieza's body shot back like a meteor towards the mountain behind him. In an instant, the mountain collapsed and turned into dust and ashes. The next second, Frieza flew out with a head of dust. At this time, Krillin, Tien Shinhan, Yamcha, and even Chichi and Piccolo stood up. Frieza, show your true strength. Quote. You can't beat us in this state. Yamcha stretched his muscles and said. Goku, don't attack first, let us go first. I have long wanted to try the results of our long-term team battle training. Krillin said. Frieza, hurry up and show your true strength, we have been preparing for this battle for too long. Chichi also broke his arms and said, me too. As they spoke, everyone began to burst out with breath. Even Kaioken was activated. At this moment, the wind blew all over the land. Like the eye of a storm, and endless dust and gravel scattered in all directions. Frieza was also surprised to see such a scene. Good, good, good. No wonder they killed Dodoria Sabo and then killed the Ginyu Force. It turns out that you all have this kind of strength, and they deserve to die. Then, let you see, the background of Universe Emperor Frieza. As he said that, Frieza roared, and a powerful force suddenly burst out from him. The purple breath rushed straight to the sky. His skin immediately began to shed its shell, changing, and constantly changing. Everyone saw his several forms. Giant form, alien form, but that was not the end. The earth trembled, the breath surged, and the wind blew. The last transformation was very different from the previous form. The transformation method was similar to molting. After the exoskeleton and skin were all cracked and shattered, the complete body image broke out of the shell. His streamlined body covered in white skin, with smooth muscle lines, showed the kingly demeanor. Finally, Frieza transformed into his final form and stood on the ground. Krillin and his group were prepared and knew that he was very strong. But after he transformed, he felt Frieza's surging breath, and his aura of contempt for the world, and was also surprised. This is the perfect form. Everyone was still waiting for Frieza to talk to them. Unexpectedly, Frieza pointed his finger at this moment. A horrible beam of light shot directly at Vegeta. In an instant, a hole was pierced through Vegeta's chest. He screamed and flew backwards. Vegeta, it was so fast, I couldn't see it clearly. Everyone looked at Vegeta in the distance in panic. Vegeta was lying on the ground, with blood gurgling from the hole in his chest. With an incredible look in his eyes. And his mouth twitched slightly, but he couldn't speak. Frieza laughed and said, oh, ho, you asked me to use all my strength. In the end, Vegeta was killed by just one finger of mine, how boring. Chapter 120 Fair Fight, True Power. Seeing Vegeta being killed in one move, everyone became nervous. Frieza's aura was too terrifying. Everyone realized how big the gap was between him and Frieza. Without opening Kaioken, there was no way to fight him. Even if Kaioken was opened 20 times, it was far from his level. However, if you don't even have the courage to attack, you are not qualified to be a warrior. Krillin said calmly. Don't worry, everyone, Vegeta doesn't know Kaioken, his strength is too weak. Let's team up to deal with him like usual training. Goku won't join the battle, so I will be responsible for attacking the front. Tien Shinhan. I'm responsible for the right side. Chichi. I'm responsible for the left side. Quote. Yamcha. I'll take care of the rear. Several people shouted and attacked Frieza fiercely. Chichi attacked Frieza's left side first, and her fists were as fast as lightning, sweeping towards Frieza. Frieza's figure that had just transformed was very flexible, lowering his head, turning sideways, dodging. Relying on his flexible body, he dodged easily without any moves. Just when Frieza was about to counterattack, Krillin, Yamcha and Tien Shinhan also followed. The three people's fists and feet were as fast as lightning, completely blocking Frieza's retreat. He could only keep dodging in the middle. However, even if all of these attacks hit him, they would only hurt him for a while, and would not hurt him at all. At this moment, Chichi, who had just been forced out of the battle circle, shouted. Kamehameha. In an instant, a ki blast suddenly blasted towards Frieza. Krillin, Tien Shinhan and Yamcha immediately retreated. Frieza, who had been dodging the moves easily, was startled. He had just come out of the siege when he found a charged ki blast coming towards his face. Frieza gritted his teeth and stomped his feet hard. With the power of kicking the ground, Kusakako got up with his bare hands. However, after dodging Chi-Chi's move, he found that all three of them fired ki blast at him. Frieza was startled and had no time to dodge. He could only cross his arms to block the ki blast that was swarming. Quote. Quote. Boom. The energy wave hit Frieza and exploded violently. Everyone held their breath and looked at the smoke garden. It seemed that they were expecting Frieza to be blasted into slag by the ki blast of the three of them. However, who was Frieza? How could he die in such a human wave tactic? After a violent explosion, the smoke and dust dissipated. At the moment when Frieza's figure gradually became clear, he raised his hand and rushed towards Chichi nodded. An extremely fast energy bullet shot towards Chichi. Chichi looked at the energy bullet with trembling pupils, like a beam of death. She saw this thin and long energy wave. She wanted to hide, but her speed was not enough to avoid this attack. In a panic, she had to defend herself as much as possible to avoid being killed instantly. However, just when the energy bullet was about to hit her, a hand knife flashed and hit the energy bullet away. Chichi looked up and saw that it was Goku who hit the energy bullet away. Chichi exhaled and said with lingering fear, "Thanks to you, Goku, he is so fast, I can't keep up." Son Goku nodded. "Don't be careless, in fact, if you concentrate, you can dodge it." He should not have fought for a long time, and his moves are too stiff. Pay attention to his starting movements. If Mendu goes all out, he will definitely be able to defeat him. Quote. Chichi nodded immediately. I know. After that, Shenxian attacked Frieza again. The four people cooperated very well. Even if Frieza became a perfect body, he still couldn't do anything to them. Instead, he was always suppressed by them. It's not so easy to kill one of them to relieve the pressure. Son Goku thought that if he didn't master the Super Saiyan transformation, he could join the group fight as usual and defeat Frieza. A few more rounds passed. Everyone began to breathe heavily. After all, the Kaioken was activated, and the consumption was not ordinary. However, Frieza was also panting. It was not easy for one person to deal with four guys with rich combat experience and tacit cooperation. In a head-on confrontation, he asked himself that no one was his opponent. But with 4 against 1, they cooperated with each other, rescued and assisted each other. Frieza spent a long time, but never hurt anyone. He felt that he had no strength, or that the strength he used was in vain. Just when Frieza was taking a breath, another ki blast came rolling towards him. Frieza was furious. This time, he didn't even dodge, and directly kicked the ki blast with a hook. In an instant, the ki blast was kicked into the sky. Then, Frieza rolled 360 degrees to the ground. At this moment, a voice came into his ears. Kaigong Cannon. Frieza was startled and looked up. He saw a three-eyed bald man, with his hands together, and the thumbs and index fingers of both hands formed a triangle. His whole body of energy gathered towards the triangle in the palm of his hand. When Frieza wanted to dodge, it was too late. The powerful ki blast blasted towards Frieza in a large area. Frieza knew he couldn't dodge. This move was different from ki blast. The ki was not condensed together, and it couldn't be kicked back at all. Frieza had to cross his arms and take the attack with his full fighting power. Boom! A white light flashed, and a huge ki blast blasted Frieza into the ground. In an instant, a huge deep pit appeared on the ground. And Frieza was lying on the ground in the deep pit. His whole body was just blasted by the ki blast, and there was still a faint heat. Frieza clenched his fists, hammered the ground hard, and raised his head. Damn it, you are a sneak attack guy, I will crush you to ashes. However, just as he finished speaking, another Qigong cannon blasted towards Frieza. Frieza's eyes were bloodshot again, but he was powerless. Boom. The powerful Qigong cannon attacked him, and another powerful suppression, Frieza fell to the ground again. This kind of attack could not hurt Frieza. It would only make him suffer humiliation. At the moment when the Qigong cannon ended, Frieza no longer hesitated and flew towards the ground. However, just as he was about to fly out of the pit and land on the ground, several Qi Yuan slashes with cutting power came towards him. Frieza's eyes were bloodshot and he retreated urgently. Although the cutting power of Qi Yuan slash was extremely strong, its flying speed was not as fast as Qi bombs. If you saw it, it would not be difficult to avoid it. But Frieza had just been hit by Qigong cannon twice, and he flew out urgently. So he saw Qi Yuan slash at the first time, and Qi Yuan slash was already approaching. He didn't have time to completely avoid it. The terrifying power of Qi Yuan slash passed directly over him. He looked down, because of the backward posture, his calves and tail were still behind. A Qi Yuan slash cut off his tail and half of his foot. Frieza's pupils shook violently. He never thought that this move could seriously injure him. The next moment, a severe pain came, and Frieza's face was covered with sweat. Frieza screamed violently. A purple and powerful aura instantly burst out from his body. In an instant, a strong wind blew up, the earth trembled, and even lightning flashed across the sky. Damn it! Damn ants! UP D me off. The next moment, Frieza flew high into the sky and suddenly raised his finger. A golden energy bomb quickly grew bigger and bigger. The powerful energy gathered in it, and in an instant, a supernova energy bomb much larger than a house gathered. Even if this level of energy is not aimed at people, as long as it is smashed vertically towards the ground, it can directly penetrate the core of the earth and detonate the planet. Originally, the achievement of using the Qi Yuan to cut off Frieza's tail and 1 foot had already made Krillin very excited. But at this moment, Krillin realized the seriousness of the matter. Everyone who saw this scene took a deep breath. Tien Shinhan's forehead was covered with sweat. Damn, such a big energy bomb will destroy the earth. Yamcha clenched his fists tightly. Damn, if we s him off, he will die with us. When Krillin saw the huge energy bomb, he felt palpitations and thought of his wife and daughter waiting for him on the earth. Advertisement. He felt that he could not give up. The next moment Krillin roared. Fight him. As he spoke, Krillin put his hands on his waist, and a dazzling light condensed from his hands. Others who saw this scene also gathered energy. Chichi. Kameha. Tien Shinhan. Dongdongbo. Yamcha. Kameha. Piccolo, not far away, also used the magic flash. At the moment when the supernova energy bomb pressed down, several energy waves bombarded the huge supernova energy bomb. The supernova energy bomb was originally pressing down with unmatched force. In an instant, several ki blasts stopped the supernova energy bomb from pressing down. Frieza was surprised to see this scene. It's not easy to resist my supernova energy bomb. However, that's your full strength, not my full strength. I just need to add a little more strength, and you will all die here along with this planet. From now on, there will be no existence in the universe that can threaten me, Frieza. As he spoke, Frieza lowered his hand. The supernova energy bomb crushed them again. Everyone was united and shouted again. The energy wave in his hand once again squeezed the little energy left in his body. Whether he was willing or not, this move would determine the outcome. As everyone exerted their strength again, the ki blast grew 3 times stronger. But it still failed to stop the arrival of the supernova energy bomb. The cooperation of several people is not the effect of superimposing combat power. As long as the combat power is truly overwhelming, one person can fight against or even kill a group of people. Their tactics still failed. In the huge golden ball of light, everyone seemed to see the coming of the end of the world. They all saw themselves disappearing with the planet. But it's okay. Before the final battle, Bulma took Murray from Namek away. Even if everyone died, they could be resurrected. Just as everyone was about to close their eyes, a golden breath rose to the sky. Everyone was shocked. Goku. I forgot that Goku has mastered Super Saiyan. I thought it was going to be tragic. Son Goku transformed into a Super Saiyan, flew towards the supernova energy bomb, and kicked it hard. The supernova energy bomb flew directly to the universe. The next second, the supernova bomb immediately exploded in the air. Krillin, Chichi, Tien Shinhan and Yamcha were already exhausted. They found that even if they were given a Senzu bean each, they could not hurt Frieza even if they cooperated well without increasing their strength. The air slash could only work once. With the defense, he would not be hit by that move again. Besides, they were facing Frieza who was injured. Who could stand the destruction of the planet and the death of the whole planet? Frieza's pupils shrank when he saw his supernova energy bomb being blown away. He looked at Goku and asked, "Damn, who are you? You actually beat my supernova energy bomb away." Son Goku did not answer Frieza, but looked at Chichi and Krillin. "You stay away, the rest of the time, it's my battle with him." Everyone nodded and withdrew from the battle. Goku kept staring, fearing that they would be attacked by Frieza. Fortunately, Frieza did nothing. At this moment, Vegeta, who was healed, suddenly came over and looked at Frieza. "Ha ha ha, Frieza, you didn't expect it. Kakarot has become a Super Saiyan, your doomsday has come." Frieza's eyes fixed and looked at Son Goku. "Super Saiyan? Is this the transformation of Super Saiyan?" Vegeta laughed wildly. "Yes, he is Super Saiyan. You didn't expect it, even if you destroyed planet Vegeta." Decades later, the supervillain you feared the most still appeared. Ha ha ha. Hearing Vegeta's wild laughter, Frieza felt irritated. "Annoying guy. Vegeta, you were killed by me, how did you come back to life?" "Forget it, you will die anyway. Even if you gain immortality, it's just a matter of grinding my finger for me." Frieza just pointed his finger. And another ray of death shot at Vegeta. However, just when the energy beam was about to hit Vegeta, Son Goku's figure flashed and flew in front of the energy. And knocked the energy away with a knife. His move was interrupted, and the person he wanted to kill didn't die, and Frieza was angry again. Frieza clenched his fists. The intense pain continued to stimulate his senses. His tail and feet were in intense pain all the time. He looked down. The injury to the tail was nothing. But the injury to the foot, like a broken finger, connected to the heart, made him sweat all over his head. He said angrily, "If you didn't have more people, I wouldn't be so lucky." Son Goku said, "Okay, thank you for not killing them." Son Goku smiled, and then looked at Chichi and Krillin. Frieza's mouth curled up a meaningful smile, and then ate the bean. Frieza's pupils shrank. Frieza laughed. "Oh, do you think you can be on an equal footing with me, the Emperor of the Universe?" Then he pulled Vegeta, who was still trying to die, and left with Chichi and others. Frieza was stunned. "What? I hope to have a fair fight with you. Can it regenerate broken limbs?" In addition, even his physical strength was restored to its fullest state. While speaking, the two roared. The powerful aura surged at the same time. "Now, there are only you and me here." As he said that, Goku threw a Senzu bean at Frieza. Frieza said cautiously, "You are here to kill me, why give me this? Catch it, eat it, Frieza." "What is this?" It was visible to the naked eye that his tail was completely healed, and his feet were completely restored to their original state. Son Goku looked at Frieza with excitement in his green eyes. Frieza moved incredulously. At this moment, only Son Goku was left here. And the entire Namek was trembling. Humph, in that case. Rather than relying on the number of people to win by luck, Son Goku said calmly, "It's me, I should let you see what power is." Krillin was the first to understand Goku's meaning and nodded. As the Senzu bean was swallowed, Frieza's injuries disappeared. Frieza took the Senzu bean in a daze, a little confused. Son Goku said, "This is Senzu bean. Vegeta came back to life after eating one of these. This can restore your physical strength, heal your injuries, and even regenerate your broken limbs." "You are wrong." Son Goku nodded. "It's incredible that there is such a wonderful thing." At this moment, Son Goku's voice came over. "Then I will let you see what real power is."